Now entering Nerdist.com.
Very smart. Very.
There it is. James Bonding Podcast.
Let's get a little more volume on that, Aristotle.
It's the James Bonding Podcast. 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 It's the James Bonding Podcast with Matthews, Myra, and Gorley. Matthews, Gorley, and Myra. Podcast of James Bond.
Silky smooth.
Matthews, Gorley, and Myra. Podcast of James Bond. James Bonding Podcast. James Bonding Podcast. James Bonding Podcast. James Bonding Podcast. Matt and James Bonding Podcast.
It just occurred to me that wonderful theme song by Paul and Storm has 4 lyrics.
4
James
words
Bonding
total.
Yeah, James Bonding. No, a podcast. Matt and Gorley Myra. 1, 2, 6 words.
That's economy.
That is brilliant. Welcome back to James Bonding, everybody. We've returned from the ashes, much like Bond himself.
Reborn.
And, yeah, I don't know if we're reborn.
I am.
Oh, great.
I'm born again.
Gorley's reborn. And joining us for this wonderful episode is Mr. Dana Gould.
Hi.
Dana now talks like this all the time. It's been a weird thing.
It's my new thing. Hi.
Dana, thank you for being on the podcast.
Oh, my God, my pleasure. This is a podcast I listen to.
Oh, well, that's very sweet of you to say. So, as we start with everybody, we talk about their sort of personal James Bond experiences in life, sort of when you found the character, and what was the first James Bond movie you saw?
Oh, God.
That's
must
George
have,
Burns.
No, let me finish.
He was going to say You Devil.
It must have. Oh, very nice. Was John Denver in that one too? If he wasn't, that explains why I didn't see it. It must have been Goldfinger. Like, I saw all of them on ABC Sunday night at the movies. I grew up in the 70s, and that's when they were on, and it was one of the reasons I have such a deep affection for them. Is it was James Bond movies and Clint Eastwood movies were the two things where everyone in my family would shut up and watch the television. I had 4 older brothers, still do, and 1 younger sister. So it was a big family, big house, and there's very few things that would shut everybody up. And a Bond movie would do it. A Clint Eastwood movie would do it. The Three Stooges did it.
Really?
Sure.
I have special places in my heart for
TV.
all 3 of those
I
things.
do for all 3 of those things as well.
The TV 38 Stooges marathon every New Year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Channel 38.
On the
Why you
UHF.
keep showing Curly Joe? Look, we have a whole pack.
I'll settle for a Shemp, but don't give me Curly Joe.
We have the whole package.
That was like, I got disproportionately bummed out when the Curly Joe Besser ones would come on, where it just...
Well,
There was Mike Donovan, who's a really funny comedian in Boston, had this great moment about, like, when you're watching the Three Stooges, there's this weird moment where, you and 20,000 other people in the state at the same time are going, shit, it's Joe.
That poor guy. That poor guy.
he was fine.
Look, he did
But
what he
just
did.
wasn't-
He was living in the shadow.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
everyone was.
I actually prefer Shemp to Curly. That was
you?
like the intellectual.
Oh.
That was like the intellectual Stooger.
You probably
Stooge
love
fan.
Lazenby too, right? He's the Shemp. He's the Shemp of
He is
Bonds.
the Shemp of Bonds.
And I like him too, and I like Shemp too, but I'm a Curly.
I like Barry Sullivan more than Barry. Barry Sullivan is Greg Brady.
No, wait, Barry Williams. Who's
Barry Sullivan was the first James Bond. He played Jimmy Bond in Casino Royale.
Barry Nelson.
Barry Nelson.
Okay, yeah,
Thank
we are.
you. My bad.
No, but I
please
was
edit
with you.
that so I look smart.
This is not the Dana Gould Hour. We do not edit.
This much would have been 5 hours of my show.
If you're not
Acutely-
listening to Dana's podcast, I cannot recommend it enough. It is the most well-produced podcast I've ever listened to in my life.
I'm excited to hear some.
And when
editing on it.
you have to listen to the podcast.
It's
He
because
spends so
someone
much
has
time.
to try.
It's like, no, it's literally like, it when I listen to it, I go, what the fuck? We aren't even trying on Nerdist.
I'm not doing what the form dictates. I'm just doing what I want to do
That's
because I don't get I'm doing it for free. I'm not making any money on it. The money I make goes to pay the people that work on it.
So it makes sense that you
yeah.
put more time into it.
But it's at least like this is what I want to do. You can pull down a past episode and listen to it, and there's a nice quality.
And
to
what
it.
the form dictates is ridiculous because it's podcasts. Like, there should be no form set yet, you know?
Well, I feel
Yeah.
like next season on Nerdist, we're going to have to try and solve a murder.
I just wanted to. I just did the show the way I would listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Is basically what I do. I'd listen to this one.
And it's fantastic. If you haven't listened to it,
No,
everybody
I
out
haven't,
there.
but I certainly will. That sounds
Yeah.
great.
Please download
I'm
it.
excited to hear when anyone's doing something different than
So this
three guys at a mic.
So
go
in
ahead,
terms of my personal Bond story, that was what you were talking about.
Yeah.
I think growing up, my favorite Bond movie is Thunderball.
That's right. Now, we were made aware of this
Yeah.
before you came on, and
Yeah.
we had a rough time ourselves with Thunderball, so we're
Yeah.
excited to hear
We are
you.
both-
I don't think it is the best Bond movie by far.
Yeah, my favorites are some of the worst ones, too,
Yeah.
not to call it the worst.
But it's not terrible. But
How
it's
often
the
do you
one-
see it? How often do you watch
I
a
probably
Thunderball?
watch it once a year. Wow. And I can never see. There's a couple of things. I can never be in every time we go to a hotel for vacation, and you're in one of those big pools
Yep.
that has walkways, and you go under the bridge,
Oh,
and
yeah,
people are
yeah,
walking over
yeah.
you. Every single time I swim under a bridge, I go. Great score
Let's
by
see.
John
I wanted to
Barry.
see how quick I was on that. I could probably pull that score up.
But what's amazing also is that was the one that I remember watching as a kid. And it's funny how when you're a kid, especially we were kind of poor, the things that stick with you, when he's on the island, the first time he infiltrates the island and you see the shark pool, the fact that the guy had a private island wasn't the thing that threw us. It was God, he's got an in-ground pool.
That's true.
That was the thing that really weirded this out. Look at his pool.
With
His
a
pool is-
shark section.
Yeah, when we saw The Godfather, it was they just went out to a restaurant. It wasn't even somebody's birthday. They just went out to eat. Not that he shot him in the face. It was
my God.
They just decided to go to a restaurant and went. That was the thing that really threw us.
That's funny because, I grew up watching Bond too, but it wasn't heavily escapist for me. It was just the action adventure.
We're wearing the same glasses, too,
I
by
know,
the way.
I
It was
did.
just
I
really
noticed
strange.
that. Yeah, I know. It's
Did
like-
you get yours at...
Warby Parker, guys? Did you go?
No.
I
Where'd you
got
get
my
it?
old focals in Pasadena.
Oh, I've been looking there because I want to get a new pair. I don't know. I got these someplace on Hollywood. Or
I am
something.
wearing the glasses yours are pretending to be.
I used to have
The
those
Ray-Ban
glasses.
Clubmasters.
Let's
There you
do
go.
round robin glass.
Those are the Malcolm X glasses.
Yes.
Yeah.
You will read the newspaper by any means necessary.
Well, guys, I'm consistent in my thoughts on Plymouth Rock.
What
Where
would
it
you call
landed.
these? What would these be?
I don't know.
Who wears these?
Call
that-
these 1962 science teacher glasses.
or NASA
Yeah, exactly.
mission control glasses.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to
Kind of
think
square. But you know what Huey Lewis says? It's hip to be square.
That's right.
That's why I'm wearing these.
It's, hip
And-
to, it's also
and
hip to quote Huey
I'm
Lewis.
also wearing a white T-shirt, which I never wear in public. But I
Yeah,
wore
you-
a sweater.
I also thought it was interesting that you rolled cigarettes up in your sleeve.
I wore a sweater out just because it was late November, and I thought, I'm just going to wear a sweater anyway. And the minute I got it, I was like, fuck, I forgot. I live on the sun. I've been out in New England for 30 years, and I'm just like, God damn it, I need to wear a fucking sweater.
Oh, my sweater collection is on point and
Oh, me too.
unnecessarily so.
Yeah, I will sweater weather into existence, and it
Yeah.
backfires every time.
Yeah, we took our kids to the Global Warming Museum and showed them the sweater they had on display. That was the thing we used to have to wear
Can you believe that?
when temperatures dipped below 69.
All right, kids, zip your wetsuits up. We're going outside.
It's really true. Zip up your dune-like cooling suits.
So you saw, what I found fascinating was that you saw The Spy Who Loved Me in a movie theater above a movie theater that was playing Star Wars.
Yes. What? It was a movie theater I worked at later in my life. In summer of 1977, I was in seventh. I was 13 years old, and 12 years old, and that was the summer that Star Wars came out. And the movie theater in my hometown was they had a theater downstairs and they had a theater upstairs. They converted the balcony of an old music hall into
my
a smaller
God. Wow.
second theater. And all summer long, 1977 in Milford, Massachusetts, Star Wars was downstairs in the big theater. Spy Who Loved Me was upstairs in the smaller theater.
That's a magic theater.
That is
Yeah,
a
right
wonderful.
there.
and
that's a hell of a summer.
Holy
I went to go see The Spy Who Loved Me like 3 times, and then went, I'm going to go see Star Wars again. And I would just run in to see Star Wars again. And then finally my friends and I went to see Spy Who Loved Me because we heard that you could see Barbara Bach's boob, and I was like, all right, we got to go.
Yeah.
There's no tit in Star Wars.
You do get a good
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
look at the.
Because it's a great thing. It's like, you can shower in my quarters. I'll be in there.
Also, in the opening titles on Blu-ray, you see a lot
there's
more
plenty
than
of nipple.
you used to see.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
really? I never
mostly
realized
nipple.
that. Yeah, I never
like
realized
they're
that.
dotting the I's on the credits half the times with
There's
nipples.
also
that's interesting.
this has the fantastic appearance of the just full frontal nudity on the things that are hanging up in the submarine when they go into the mess hall. Did you notice that when you were watching
Oh,
it?
no.
Oh,
are they
yeah,
in
that's
there?
right. The centerfolds.
Yeah, there's
This movie has, I'm willing to say right now, more paneling than any other James Bond movie.
Yes, that's true. That's
It
true.
is a festival of
yeah.
paneling.
Yeah, it was Ken Adams.
And tan suits.
yeah,
tan suits and tan shirts.
The tan suit with the lapels.
It is
the epaulets, or rather.
It is the most, well, maybe the Man with the Golden Gun, the ugliest clothing Bond movie.
And
It's
his
really
tie,
just despicable.
His tie looks as though it's a napkin he tied on.
It's a Mike Brady tie.
it's
so big.
enormous length,
Yeah.
width, and this movie also has the most catatonic women. They all seem drunk or something.
Yeah,
too.
Barbara Bach is
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen it in a long time.
a lot of people like her. She's not one of my favorite Bonds.
That's Mrs.
No.
Starkey right there.
Yeah.
that's right.
You
You remember Caveman?
I'm
You
being
remember
shot.
that?
Sure I do.
Guys, that was a gunshot. I'm sorry.
Whoa, Jesus.
I'm being shot at, James. Bring it up. The worst. This is a pretty freewheeling discussion.
Yeah,
but,
please.
Miriam Dabo from the Living Daleks. From the Living Daleks.
The
I think I just-
living Daleks.
The Living Daleks. From the Living Daleks. I would describe her performance as execrable. Second only to the joyless dirge of Timothy Dalton's performance in that movie.
We just
A
that was the last
U2 album
episode.
of a performance.
We just
The Living Daylights?
We just did that episode
Where he helps Osama bin Laden. Where
he helps Al-Qaeda. He helps Al-Qaeda.
He helps Osama bin Laden, basically, yeah.
That's essentially what he's
He
doing.
helps Al-Qaeda at
the
the end, which
Taliban,
is
for sure.
hilarious.
And it's like because Rambo 3, I believe,
Yeah.
is him also
Yeah, we
helping
talked about
yeah, helping
Al-Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda, yeah.
Mujahideen, yeah.
We really had a different outlook on them then.
Well, sure we did. Some of us haven't changed.
But let's jump into The Spy Who Loved Me here. This is Roger Moore's third outing as James Bond.
Yeah.
10th film overall.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, everyone's excited. This is the summer of Star Wars. This is the previous summer Jaws had come out, correct?
Right.
Is
No,
that correct? Or
no,
is that next
75.
summer?
I'll put in a little historical context
Please.
since I'm old. I'm old. I'm like a friendly tree that comes by.
Please, Wisdom Tree, tell us.
Live and Let Die had come out. I remember my mother telling me about Live and Let Die because she saw Roger Moore talking about it on The Tonight Show. I would have been 9 that summer.
Oh, I would watch the shit out of that.
I still
And they have a new James Bond, and he is chasing people in boats. And I remember her telling me about Live and Let Die. I didn't go see Live and Let Die. The Man with the Golden Gun came out a year later, I
Yeah,
believe,
74. Yeah.
and it was horrible.
Yeah.
And it was literally like a TV movie. Live and Let Die was basically a blaxploitation movie with James Bond
Yeah.
in it. In the same way the Omega Man is a blaxploitation movie with Charlton Heston and zombies in it.
Yeah.
It was like 1973, this is who's going to the movies. Get him in there. And Live and Let Die I actually enjoy.
I do too.
I have an affection for Live and Let Die. In the same way that I have an affection for a lot of Ringo Starr's singles because they're all of the same time. It's being a 9-10-year-old kid. You know, it's that's what was in the ether. The Hustle, I remember.
So you're just listening to Photograph on vinyl.
listening to photo. Yeah, I think it was the No 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 song was the big one, and The Hustle was used. That was 1975. But long story longer.
Not the hustle. Like
The song "The Hustle" was 1975.
the disco song.
Yes, do
Okay.
the hustle.
Yeah. Okay, I thought you meant like Ringo Starr had a song called The Hustle.
No, I was just
No.
talking about popular song. That song when it came out, that and Benny and the Jets were omnipresent. That's
Oh yeah.
I was 11. So after Remember the Golden Gun, people thought like this might be it. He's kind of done. It didn't do that well.
Yeah, it didn't do well.
It
It was
was
not-
drubbed.
No.
It looked like a TV movie.
And it
was-
really does center on one
Yeah,
thing, which
that's
is
funny.
James Bond shooting someone else
Yeah.
who wants to shoot him.
And it's sort of like License to Kill.
I was just going to say
it's like
that.
a TV movie.
and that looks like a TV movie,
It really
and that
looks
one
like a TV
tanked
movie.
too.
Yeah, I saw that one. I saw that one when it came out, and it was like seeing the Phantom Menace. I want to like it. I'm supposed to be liking it,
Yeah.
but it's lit horribly. It's
Yeah.
lit really cheesy. It's just there's nothing good about it.
Yep.
Nothing good about
Living
it.
Daylights is also. I mean, it
It
also
has that
suffers
great song
from.
by Aha.
Yeah, which was.
It suffers late '80s itis.
Yeah, there was a lot going on with those two particular James Bond movies were sort of reactionary movies.
Lift your hopes up way too high. Living's in the way we die. What does that even mean?
Comes the morning.
I know a great restaurant in Karachi. Horrid.
Oh, that's right. He does know a restaurant in Karachi, and they ride out on a
Sure
horse.
he does. Corey, he knows a few.
James. There's this one thing I remember seeing it in the movie, and there's one thing when they're in like the tent, she goes, James, and she has her hand on her crotch, and the guy I saw with this comedian named John Ross went, my pussy itches, and that was like the rest of the movie. We were just laughing at that. My pussy itches.
Aegis. That's great.
But when The Spy Who Loved Me, I remember seeing the commercials for The Spy Who Loved Me. It's the biggest, it's the best, it's Bond and beyond. That was the commercial, and it looked like
Good tagline.
Look at a space movie with James Bond in it, like the big submarine thing and explosions. Like, oh, it looks pretty good. It looked good, and it was a huge hit.
Yeah.
Marred really, and you know what? Positively, it's a scene by scene remake of You Only Live
Yeah,
Twice.
that's what my big
Right.
problem with it.
Right.
And they were just
Same
like,
plot.
well,
Same
no,
director.
Same plot, same director.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are we going to do? They were just like, let's go with something that works. We
Yeah.
know this works.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Roger Moore is great.
Yep.
If you want Roger Moore, you're getting him great. You know, like this is what he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't pretend he's anything other than he is. It's pretty terrific. Fucking J.W. Culpepper or whatever that dickwad's name is not in the movie. And then I think the worst thing about it outside of it's all the things that make it of its time. The ridiculous clothes, the worse than AIDS soundtrack by Marvin Hamlish.
It we're in agreement there.
It is. We were just Matt and I were just.
He
talking
also
about
ruins For Your Eyes Only, which is
Oh,
another
it's
otherwise
Bill
really.
Conti.
But
Same shit, though.
But what I
Yeah.
mean is that
Yeah.
disco-y.
I agree.
Horrid.
It's because the Barry scores are so timeless, and they're trying to pin it down to this disco bullshit.
Yeah.
And it does not work.
It's
Same
horrid.
thing happened with GoldenEye when they tried to make it all techno, and it's the worst score.
Yeah,
Even worse
and then
than
the
this one.
lame, and then but it doesn't. It's not even thematically consistent. It doesn't even stay a shitty disco score. At least For Your Eyes Only stays a
Yeah.
shitty disco score.
Yeah.
That, by the way, For Your Eyes Only. I was an usher in the movie theater that summer, so I saw that movie more times than I can count. And that summer it was For Your Eyes Only downstairs and Superman 2 upstairs.
Oh,
So
well,
whenever
that's a
I
good
hear-
summer.
Summers of Magic.
But whenever I hear like "For Your Eyes Only," I gotta open the doors, and then they like dun 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 dun. Shit! I gotta go upstairs. And run up and open the doors.
Did they time them so they were getting out at different times?
Yeah, they staggered them a little bit,
God.
and I lived on popcorn and Sprite that summer. It was actually a really good summer.
I can't wait to see.
1981, I was an usher at the movie theater, and I saw so many great movies for free.
I would
'Cause by
watch-
that time there were 5 cinemas and a drive-in in my hometown, all the same company. And so I was 81 and 82. I just saw everything for free,
God.
and they were great years. They were great years.
Yeah, those are good years for movies.
That was your magical summer.
Firefox, I didn't
Oh.
pay for it.
Didn't pay for it.
Didn't pay for it. Firefox,
family
Porky's did not pay.
That somehow
So,
seems like a Brody Stevens bit.
First Monday in October, So Fine with Ryan O'Neal. I did not pay for it. First Monday in October with Walter Matthau and a young Denzel Washington.
Oh my God.
No, that was Carbon Copy. Carbon Copy
Yeah.
with Walter Matthau and
Oh,
Denzel
yeah.
Is that his
And he was a
first
kid.
movie?
Denzel Washington was
His
a
first
kid.
movie,
Yeah, he
I
was a
think.
kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we're
Let's touch a little bit on this score.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play very quickly. I'm gonna play a little bit of when
and
the
a
score
part of me's
kicks
gonna
in.
die.
This is when James is informed that he has to get to headquarters. M has sent him a ticker tape on his Seiko watch.
He sent him a sticky label.
Send him
message.
you sent him a
maker.
punch label, essentially, which I like to imagine James having to go into headquarters and be like, I need a refill. I'm out of... You sent me the one message that fit in here. So let's hear
What's
it.
happened? Where are you going?
Sorry, darling, something came up.
So what came up is there's a bunch of guys on skis approaching.
Yeah.
But James, I need you.
So does England.
So you're like, okay, there's like some strings happening, a little brass action, so this might get a little okay. We're going to have a nice score to
He
this.
has just left. He has just left. Over and out.
Message received. We are waiting. Over and out.
There it is. It's officially titled James Bond 787.
This title?
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. I used to have a video game, a Spy Who Loved Me video game for Commodore 64.
Sure, great system.
And it was like Yar's Revenge. You didn't know what the graphics indicated. So there was, at some point, that was that Stromberg's lair in the ocean was represented, but it looked nothing like it. And it played a sort of similar music.
It's just so grim, and
What I love is that James also fires a missile at this guy, essentially, out of his ski pole, which he obviously doesn't need.
That guy he kills is not intended to be the same guy she was in bed with, right? She was just in bed with another man.
No, that's the same guy
That's
she was
the
in
same
bed
guy.
with. Yeah.
I couldn't put that together. Now, that guy was contracted to be Bond, and when Connery came back...
who was this?
I forget his name, but
the guy that was the Russian spy in the beginning of Spy. Oh, I didn't know that.
So he was contracted to be Bond. They had done the deal, and then at the last minute, Connery came back.
I thought it was John Gavin was contracted to be Bond.
He was. Is that not him?
Is that John Gavin?
That is John. You're right. It is John Gavin, and I think that may be him.
But like, it is the way they shoot it too. You're like,
That's a very clever twist. That's
Yeah.
They do the reverse. God, you can't have that back nowadays.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I think isn't that John Gavin? Let me see.
No, I mean,
If only there was a way to find out.
he sounds.
Why? When can we meet again?
As soon as my mission is accomplished.
He looks like a Wookiee.
I mean, that'd be amazing to see this movie if there was no advertising and you didn't know
In Austria,
Roger Moore was
5 more minutes.
Yeah.
James Bond.
IMDb this to see that's John Gavin. I don't think it is.
Okay, I could be wrong.
Because John Gavin is in
not.
Psycho.
It's not.
Let's talk about that. Agent Triple X.
Agent Triple X.
But I think that guy was up for Bond at some point. You know what?
They do those. Well, they do
I'm
that
not
at
sure.
the Living Daylights too. They have that nice mislead at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Before you see Timothy Dalton, Mister Self-aware.
So let's talk about the fact. Okay, so we'll set up the plot a little bit for everybody listening who might not know it or whatever. It opens on a British submarine. They're having a good time. All of a sudden, everything goes haywire, and then the submarine essentially goes missing.
You've seen
There's
Leonardo
a call
twice,
to the Kremlin.
right? It's the
There's
water
a call
version
to
of that.
Yeah.
Think of the space parts and put it underwater. There you are. But let's dive into the opening sequence of James Bond skiing off of a cliff and then opening up a parachute with the Union Jack on it.
And yeah, because like all spies, when he's skiing, he's in a day-glow orange unitard, and his parachute is the flag of his country.
But is he? Now here's my question though: is James on a mission or is James just out having a vacation?
I think he finished a mission and he's doing the
Yeah,
postmortem.
I think
with
he
the
put
woman.
on his vacation suit. I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
his yellow vacation
Yeah.
suit.
And what's Roger Moore never goes, really? Are you sure I shouldn't wear something a little less, fancy?
Famously, this stunt, the guy was paid $30,000 to do this, to ski off of a cliff.
it?
Yeah, paid $30,000 to ski off a cliff and open up a chute, and
He would have done that
and
anyway.
they nailed it. And then you get to hear what I think is if not the best, one of the best James Bond theme songs of all time.
Theme song is great, but
It is.
nothing.
Before you start that,
Oh, sure.
really quickly, should we talk about? Is this the best James Bond cold open there is because of that stunt? I mean,
Because
it's
of that
certainly up
stunt.
there.
No.
It's
It's
certainly up there.
it's a very impressive stunt, but I mean,
What cold opens would you put ahead of this?
Well, Moonraker, the stunt is where they're flying.
It's more impressive, yeah. But I mean, just for impact, this one was the one everybody talked about.
Yeah, but let's.
There's that too, but then also if you go later, like the GoldenEye cold open with him
That's a good one.
jumping out of
That's a good one.
Where he
jumping a motorcycle and then
Yeah.
flying into a
Yeah.
plane.
And then exceeding terminal velocity because he has to.
well, I mean,
Never thought of that. Oh my god! What is he doing?
you guys didn't know that when you when you, lay flat,
you
go
can will
faster.
yourself to be faster.
Oh my god! I love it.
But this is like famously the screening of this in England.
I might alienate everybody. I really like the Skyfall opening.
oh
like it
sure,
too,
the
yeah.
Skyfall
Although-
opening is great.
Although they would have stopped that train.
Sure. Oh, there's a lot of problems.
There's passengers on that train.
Why was there a chain on
There's
top of the roof?
There's a lot.
But I like Casino Royale. I think is an amazing.
That's a great
opening.
call.
Oh
opening.
sure, that is yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's
I mean, but for sheer like Thunder Crack and James Bond
Yeah.
cocaine opening. That's the good.
this is.
The good one, you know.
They picked their head up off a pile and they were like, "I got it."
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Union Jack parachute. And then you hear the classic John Barry theme.
Nothing wrong with that.
And then
Dude,
you
he's
guys didn't know that
flatulating
when
to
you
get him.
when you lay
can
flat,
will, you
go
can will
faster.
yourself to be faster.
Oh my god, I love it.
But this is like famously the screening of this in England.
I might alienate everybody. I really like the Skyfall opening.
oh
like it
sure,
too,
the
yeah.
Skyfall
Although-
opening is great.
Although they would have stopped that train.
Sure. Oh, there's a lot of problems.
There's passengers on that train.
Why was there a chain on top of the roof?
There's a lot.
But I like Casino Royale. I think is an amazing.
That's a great
opening.
call.
Oh
opening.
sure, that is yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's
I mean, but for sheer like Thunder Crack and James Bond
Yeah.
cocaine opening. That's the good.
this is.
The good one, you know.
They picked their head up off a pile and they were like, "I got it."
That's
Union Jack parachute. And then you hear the classic John Barry theme.
Nothing wrong with that.
And then some hands come up. Marvin Hamlish plays the
I know
piano.
it's not what you expect. I mean, it's basically like a ragtime bar torch song. It's good.
Mrs. James Taylor.
Yeah.
Now, guys, I have this. This is a HD copy of this movie, so if you want to see some nips,
Okay.
you'll see some here.
Oh yeah.
It's not. It's even when like. Well, I love this, by the way. He's just betting everyone he comes in contact with.
Yeah, this movie does take place on a planet where when people meet, they automatically fuck.
If they've even met yet.
Yeah.
If they fuck by me.
Do I have any messages? No.
I love it. He's like, no. Put the gun away. Let's fuck.
Here we go. Look at. I mean, that's just.
That's what you call a nude woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
I love the song.
It's a great song.
So. Come the morning and the headlines fade away.
I feel like when that guy that does the parachute jump, Rick Sylvester,
Yeah.
he's got a couple parachuting buddies, and then you got the Willie Bogner guy who does all the skiing stuff. That these were just excuses to go hang out with these '70s party guys, stunt guys, you know, up in the Alps,
Bell-bottomed.
Yes, yeah.
Bond movies is
Yeah.
James Bond in a naval
I'm with you.
in a naval uniform.
Yeah, it's good,
'Cause
especially
he's a
in the end
commander.
when he's got the turtleneck and
The turtle. Yeah. Well,
naval jacket. on.
Again, this movie is an ode to epaulets. Anywhere they can get epaulets in.
Yeah.
This movie also, so what we see here is James being called to, I guess we'll call it Submarine High Council. I don't.
Sure.
The MI6 will relocate its entire operation to any part in the globe if they need to talk to you about something.
Later, when they're in,
Yeah, when they're
in a tomb.
like perfectly preserved, what would be archaeological relics,
Yeah.
and they've turned it
set up
into an
Q-
office.
and they set up Q branches
Yeah.
just for the fun. So we have
Q-
to talk to James Bond for 5 minutes. Let's bring all of Q
We'd love
branches.
to get in there and decipher some of those glyphs.
Major
But we
Boothroyd,
can't
we're
do
going to
it
be
right
sending your entire
The
staff to
exploding
Cairo.
tea tray knocked the glyphs off the wall.
Now this
The one Rosetta Stone one that could decipher all the others.
this this scene has the most British people in it, and the new M is hiding out
Not
as
only that,
Admiral.
Hilary Bray's in it too. The guy from
Yes.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service. This is like alumni for Bond.
So
Who is Hilary Bray?
He's the guy that does the genealogy stuff in On Her Majesty's Secret Service that Bond disguises himself as.
Good morning, sir.
That's him.
Forsyth.
Oh,
Sir. Commander Bond, sir.
His voice is the most
Frederick Gray,
recognizable.
Minister of
Because
Defense.
he dubs
Morning, Commander.
lazy.
And this guy.
Yeah, that, I didn't remember that.
right.
from
No,
last
he
time.
Croy,
took
wasn't it?
over for Anne
Yeah.
when Bernard
Yeah.
Lee was ill.
Yeah.
So I wonder, and there's no official word on it, but does this Admiral become M?
It'd be nice to think.
I think that's what happens.
His first name is just like Mitch
yeah.
Hargreaves.
Mitch They don't always have to have an M,
They
do
do in my world.
Can we? I'm going to IMD this because the Americans. I think the American submarine commander might be somebody very interesting, but I want to check it
From the end?
first. Yeah,
Shane Rimmer,
is that his name?
that guy. Yeah,
That's not
he's
who I think it is.
he's in. If we're thinking of the same guy, he's in a bunch of Bond
That's
movies
sitting
too.
sitting there when she's showering.
Yeah,
No,
no,
oh, no.
that captain.
No, but the other guy's in. He might be in Superman 2. I can't remember.
I'm going to look for if it's who I think.
So okay, let's let me IMDb.
See, now this is where I would
Yeah,
cut.
this is where you would cut, but we
On
just
my
keep
podcast,
going.
I would- this
No,
would-
you-
Pick up.
no one would hear this. No one would hear us research stuff on the internet silently.
But they know what we're doing. They all know.
But it's it's a festival of epaulets.
Yeah.
And they really he's in a ski-doo or he's in a jet ski.
Oh, yeah.
He's at the very end.
And you know that's like, well, there's this new technology we got to use. And
Right.
It's called a jet ski.
Well, here's the thing. I once went to the French Polynesia. I went to what's the island? Not Bali, but has two names. Bora Bora. I went to Bora Bora and took a jet ski around Bora Bora. The greatest thing I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
Non-sexual. It was the most. It was just like a commercial, and you're on a jet ski, and again, like being under a walkway in a hotel pool. I could not go da-na-na-na-na-na every time. I have a Vespa, and I cannot get on it without playing the opening to "Can You See the Real Me" in my head. So we get back from Bora Bora, and it was the greatest vacation we've ever had. And I get back like, oh my God, I'm so relaxed. I am so happy and relaxed. I'm going to be relaxed for months. Let me write down the date just so I can see when I finally stop being relaxed. Okay, what's today? September 10th, 2001. Okay, I'm going to see how long I stay relaxed.
Oh my god!
Well, how long?
That was months and
I
months.
know that was like down on the bottom of
The
the
next
list,
day.
but in the positive column of the terrace, going like, we might ruin some vacations as well as just.
Matt Selman from The Simpsons got diverted to Hawaii and had to spend the day in Hawaii for free because nobody was enjoying themselves.
Plus, you had to
But,
feel like pretty safe in Hawaii.
Yeah, you can't be that upset. in
Yeah,
Hawaii.
yeah.
So Hawaii's not known for its surprise attacks, right, guys?
Quite
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah. What bad could happen?
Organized
in Hawaii?
nationalist state.
What could happen in Hawaii?
So here's the plot, everybody. Someone has stolen 2 submarines, a Russian sub and an English sub, and James needs to find out, and on the other side of things, Agent XXX needs to also find out.
Yeah.
Agent XXX.
They've discovered that there's a microfilm out there that has for some reason, the courses of the nuclear submarines on the
I
microfilm.
know that
That
is never
exists for
fully
some reason.
explained. Why isn't it on this?
And only 4 people know the courses, the captain, and then like 2 people at the Admiralty or something like
And the
that.
guy
So
that's
there's no explanation again of why this microfiche exists. So we meet the villain of this story, who is Ernst Stavro Blofeld, a.k.a.
Basically.
Yes, I was right. Oh, no, wait a minute. Okay, go ahead.
Stromberg.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing that happens, so Stromberg's looking for this where'd this microfilm go as well? He needs to know. So now everyone in this movie is looking for the same MacGuffin. And what happens is he wants to root out who of these three people it could have been. So he kills the lady.
Yeah.
And then the guys get on the helicopter and you think they're safe.
Yeah.
And just to reiterate to the audience that you think that they're safe, they cut in this scene of them ridiculously shaking hands happily before he blows up the helicopter.
Yeah.
We're good then.
Pause it really quick.
Yep.
Did you guys notice his webbed hands?
Whoa.
You never noticed that?
That's why he doesn't shake hands.
That's why he doesn't shake hands, and that's why he wants the world to be flooded. He's part aquatic.
What?
I know. They never mention it. It's crazy.
Well, there was a tradition in the books that all of
Yeah.
Bond's abilities have some sort of physical.
So we have to know in detail about Scaramanga's third nipple, but we don't get to hear about
know.
this guy's webbed hands and feet.
You see his hand maybe 5 or 6 times, and there's especially at the end you can see the skin in between the thumb and the first finger.
Is it makeup, or do they just find an actor that
No,
happen
it's
to have
makeup,
webbed?
Man, this guy was a heartthrob when he was younger as an actor.
I think he's
And his name is Kurd.
Yeah, Kurt Jurgens.
Kurt. Yeah, but he's
Jurgens.
credited as
Yeah.
Kurt, right?
Well, in here he has with a T, but usually it was with a D.
Yeah.
Kurd.
Kurt Jurgens.
Guys, there's Kurt Jurgens all over the place. We're going to have to move out and tent the house.
Hey, it's just me.
So how bad is your Kurd Jurgens infestation?
Okay, this is a weird piece of Bond trivia. I have to
Go,
since I
please.
brought it up. I had him wrong. I thought it was, it might be, and they just made a mistake, but Felix Leiter in Diamonds Are Forever was Norman Burton, who was the leader of the hunt in the original Planet of the Apes, that iconic shot of the gorilla on the horse
my God.
pulling the net in the cornfield. Same guy.
Really?
Dana is, of course, the
Iconic.
world-renowned expert in Planet
That's
of the
right.
Apes movies.
Yeah.
That's an iconic shot.
Okay.
It truly is. Isn't that on the poster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one that when I was a kid I went, what? I have to see.
There's a planet of this?
Can I have to own everything of that.
I need to go work in a movie theater.
How big is your
Jurgens.
Planet of the Apes collection at this point?
It's very small.
Is it?
It's very small.
I thought you would have.
Well,
Did you thin the herd?
Yeah. Well, after I got.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I owned Roddy McDowell's house and had a lawgiver in the backyard, and I thought, okay, I've reached the point of maximum.
You really did own
Yeah.
Roddy McDowell's house?
Yeah, my kids and my ex-wife still do.
Is the lawgiver statue still there?
No, oddly, I just had a bust. I had the courtroom bust, a repro of the courtroom bust, taken from the original mold of the lawgiver, and it was in the backyard. And I asked my daughter when I moved, I said, "Honey, do you want me to leave this here because we had it by the pool?" Roddy had the Caesar statue from Battle in another part of the yard.
Wow.
And I said, "Honey, do you want me to leave this here?" But I went, "No." So I put it in my new backyard, and I thought, "No, I got to get laid someday. I got to get this out of here." And I gave it to another big ape freak friend of mine, Dean Johnson, who's a hilarious writer on Real Time with Bill Maher, and he is married to
It.
Wow, you're a matchmaker too,
married
Dana.
to Judy Greer, who is in Caesar's Wife and
That's
Dawn
right.
of the
And
Planet of
she
the
did.
Apes.
She went in the
did
new one for his sake,
just for
right?
his,
I had
yeah.
heard that. Yeah.
Wow.
And she does not like me because her backyard now has. She doesn't really not like me,
Yeah,
but
but,
she.
sure.
We have a fake war because
Yeah,
she's like,
you-
"Thank you." Every time she sees me.
You're
By the
responsible
way,
for the
thank you,
eyesore.
thank you for the giant ape statue in my backyard. Thank you very much.
Who has the? Doesn't someone have the full statue? Doesn't like
Yeah,
Darabont
my friend.
own it?
Well, but no, Darabont has a copy taken from the mold of my friend Brian Peck, who has.
Ah, I knew it was in someone's hands.
That was a weird thing when I worked for Frank Darabont. I said, like, after I got hired, I said, no, we have a weird thing in common.
But I just want to show you guys, and if
Yeah.
you're at home, you put on your DVD and throw it over to the 20-minute mark, and you'll see my favorite shot in the entire movie, which is the happily escaped people who don't think they're going to die.
and one of the escaped people, his character name must have been Jewy Juman.
Look how Cheney this guy looks. Look
Yeah.
at that.
I think that he's
Stromberg.
a good villain.
Yeah.
In the sense
he's
that
really low key.
In the
Yeah,
in
he's
the
not-
sense that
he's
he's
barely
so
in the
low
movie.
key.
Yeah.
He's not. He can't move really.
No.
Like when he gets.
He's basically like a retired villain.
I think he's also the most brutally killed by James Bond of all the villains. Because James Bond shoots him 4 times.
Yeah.
Like, that guy's going to bleed out of his stomach, no
Yeah,
problem.
It is unceremonious.
I doubt he clots very well anymore.
Not with that sea blood.
So everyone's looking for the
But this was the first. Well, I guess it started with Diamonds Are Forever. No, it really did go back to You Live Twice, where the villain's goal was world domination.
Yeah.
I always liked it. That's why I love From Russia with Love. It's like we got to get this thing.
Right.
It's just much
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
palatable.
I'm with you.
Then you go right to Eric Vornoff from Bride of the Monster, and I will conquer the world.
It does. That is an interesting thing,
Because
too,
the
about
guy
how it
does
is.
look like Tor Johnson, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah, the guy does look like
And
Tor
he was
Johnson.
in a bunch of those similar movies, too. The what's his name in this?
But next to Jaws, he's really the Andrew Ridgely to the George Michael of Jaws.
We should mention.
He's the Garfunkel of henchmen.
He is absolutely the Art Garfunkel of henchmen duos.
He this is Richard Kyle, of course. He passed away not very long ago,
that's sad.
and this is the first appearance of Jaws.
Yeah.
Who has in years since has become, I think, right next to Oddjob as the most iconic Bond henchman.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But he has nothing about him makes sense.
No,
He doesn't. Judging from the film, all he has to do is touch his teeth to you.
yeah,
He doesn't tear your throat out.
You don't
which is-
bleed. You just die. You just keel over.
The
and
only
die.
thing he actually bites is the shark.
And the licorice chain.
Oh, well, I mean, biting. He
Yeah.
does also, for no reason in that train sequence, bite a piece of wood.
Right. That's right.
But also,
Yeah.
in the train sequence, when James Bond has the open electrical socket,
Yeah.
he bares his teeth to it. It's
Yeah.
like, no, close your
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, he's trying to.
It's the pull of the electrical charge.
of the broken light bulb.
Also, like,
Broken 40-watt bulb.
there is nothing about those teeth that looks
Practical.
like it would be.
It's an orgasm of impracticality. One, how can he take nourishment? Everything has that metally taste.
I know. Oh, okay. Explain this moment. When
Everything tastes like he's eating it out of a bucket.
he
So when he
I don't know
shows
if you
up
can
to
chew. I don't know if you can even chew with it. It looks like mastication is quite difficult.
when he uses this woman as a shield, is
Yes.
it because he feels she's betrayed him,
There it
or
is.
she's
By the suit
sacrificing
with epaulets.
herself? He's won her over, and she throws herself at the bullet.
What is the What is
happens
the
here?
time right here?
this is
25.
25-14.
At 25:14, you will see a sport jacket with epaulets.
Yeah.
which is
And a big old brown button on that
there's
epaulette.
Really, no reason. If there was any reason for the '70s to never be repeated, it's right
That
there.
And
tie
if
is
you-
an
and if
ironing
you do
board
pause
cover.
it, she is staring at the tie. The tie physically probably could. One of those little ironing boards, for
Yeah.
apartments,
Yeah.
it could conceivably.
The tie
cover
was
that
later
with no
used
problem.
in an art installation to cover Central Park.
Yeah, so let's delve into the scene a
Anything you
little
would
bit.
like? Anything at all?
Well, I had lunch, but I seem to have missed dessert.
This is the depth of
I wish he
Roger
instead he
Morse.
had said "eatin' ain't cheating" right after that.
His creepy kiss is at its worst in this
Guess
film.
I could have sex
As
with
urgent
you,
as my
strange
appointment
person.
is, I'd hate him to walk in and surprise us.
Oh, there is no danger of that.
He's going to be some time then, is he?
Now he's suspicious
Is
here,
he
right?
meeting someone?
Why does she get so weirded
Sorry,
out
I
by
cannot
that?
answer that question.
Back to sex.
I think you can.
So she sees the guy.
No!
She takes the bullet. What happens there?
I think it's
Look at that tie! God!
So that's right out of Thunderball too. The
Yeah.
breaking.
Yeah. And Goldfinger.
God, there's a lot of recycled bullshit here.
Now, we haven't talked about
Well-
whether we love this movie or not, but this isn't one of my favorites just because it recycles so many things in it. Other than the opening, it's just kind of down
But
the
this was
middle.
just
Now,
like,
what I do like
this
about it
was
is-
like we need to get this thing back
Yeah.
on the tracks.
Yeah, and
this
that's
was classic Bond.
That's
though.
kind of what I do like about it. I do like how much
It was
of
the first greatest
formula-
hits.
Yeah.
Greatest hits
that's,
Bond.
that's exactly right.
And I wonder if the sequel to Skyfall, Bond 24, I wonder if that's going to suffer from Spy Who Loved Me-itis.
I think they got one more in them before that happens.
You think so?
Yeah, although I mean, if it is,
I mean, they're
Blofeld,
really setting
We got to
themselves
talk
up
about
to,
this
like-
at the end.
yeah.
but
Is that
Christoph
the
Waltz-
rumor?
It's
Yeah.
more than a rumor now. I think it's almost pretty.
Is Christoph Waltz going to be?
Yeah, he's going to be the
Blofeld,
villain.
yeah.
He's going to be theoretically Blofeld.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they just bought Spectre. They finally
Yeah.
get Spectre
Yeah.
back in the lawsuit.
Yeah. Let's talk about it at the end.
All right.
Well, he's good.
Yeah.
So James Bond throws a woman in front of a bullet as per usual.
Yeah. But she's like, she falls in love with him in that second enough to sacrifice herself.
Well, I mean,
or-
how it's James Bond. How
No,
do you
I'm not arguing. I
How
would
do you
too. I'm
not?
just clarifying.
Like they probably were almost slipping on the floor because of how wet it was from her looking into his eyes.
But his leathery skin
Aren't you
immediately
the
sopped
saint?
it up like a chamois.
Oh my God, it's Ian Ogilvy. No.
But this has. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think Roger Moore enjoyed this sequence
Because of the killing?
because of the way he kills this guy.
It's more the For Your Eyes Only one that he doesn't like. But this is
But the VR's only scene is awesome.
Yeah,
it's
this
super
is
awesome.
pretty. This is kind of ratty.
And they
but the
kinda-
VR's only scene is great.
They kind of do this in Quantum, don't they?
and what I do love is the scoring of this fight.
Very percussive.
The fight with Tor Johnson on the roof is the worst fight in the history of Bond movies.
The
Two
guest
stuntmen.
directed by Ed Wood.
It really is horrifying. It's really terrible.
God, it's all bad sound.
You're Lobo.
Now this is why his tie is so big.
Right.
Yeah.
If he had a knit tie,
Where's
he
Peckish?
wouldn't have slipped.
Where's Peckish? Pyramids!
No. You say.
And then he
I'll
says,
tell you.
What a helpful chap.
You go.
not really a pun.
Let
but-
me off the roof, and I'll tell you. You don't.
Yeah, really.
So the pyramids.
Okay, go back.
Go
really
back,
quickly.
going back.
Right, keep going forward a little
to
bit.
where this starts here.
Keep going. Oh no! Here, let me find. You guys tell
Oh
me.
my God.
I got
Okay.
something to show you.
So they go to Cairo, and the pyramid situation. By the way, I would love to sit through that presentation.
I know.
That tourist presentation of the pyramids. It seems pretty cool. My question is, was that made up, or is that a thing that they used to do?
I bet it's a thing that they used to do. I mean, that's the great thing about the Bond movies, and they do it in Quantum with the other thing. You know, it's
the opera.
I'm assuming in the next one they're going to go down to Laguna and do the pageant of the Masters. But they do find these, like the Jean Canu in Thunderball. They find these cultural events because
Yeah.
they're travelogues.
Yeah.
Right,
You know.
Quantum had that like polo thing in Siena too, whatever that was.
Yeah,
Wait, what thing?
at the very beginning.
and they shot it like months before the movie even went into production because they knew they wanted to get it.
Oh, right.
Oh,
the
really?
bull running thing. Well, it wasn't a
Yeah.
bull
No,
running
it's
thing. It
some
was
kind
like
of
a.
equestrian.
Oh,
yeah.
you know what? Yeah. Again, great pre-credit sequence, Casino Royale. That chase at the beginning, of Casino Royale, is.
Oh, that chase is phenomenal.
I thought you were talking about the
that
black and white
parkour?
flashback.
I was too, but
Yeah.
that parkour thing.
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
amazing.
God, that's the best.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
And like when you watch even the behind the scenes stuff of them shooting it, Daniel Craig's really up on that thing.
Yeah.
He is harnessed in, but he's really
Guys get balls.
it's insane. And
Yeah.
then the other thing, by the way, just a side note for actors doing their own stunts. Did you guys see the pictures of Tom Cruise attached to that plane for the new Mission Impossible movie?
Yeah.
No.
Like he was on a like hanging on the side of a carrier plane without a harness, and the plane was flying at like 3,000 feet.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the last one he did on top of that.
No,
Dubai
this one. Well, he
building.
just one-upped it.
Oh my God,
What is he doing?
I don't know.
Maybe he is magical.
I don't know. My manager was one of the producers on Live, Die, Repeat, whatever the terrible real title of that was.
Edge of Tomorrow.
And I can tell you, he walked away like going, my manager is as funny and cynical as anybody. He walked away and goes, I love that guy.
He's amazing. We did a
He's-
podcast with him.
Completely positive and like, I'm sure it was the most podcast
Yeah.
you've ever done.
When it was insane. Like just Jonah and Chris and I were like, oh my God, he's
Yeah.
fucking everything you want Tom Cruise
Yeah,
to be.
he is. I met him on Tropic Thunder, and he was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
it's the most handshake I've ever had. You win. You win handshakes."
The best was when he was heading over to Kimmel right after the podcast, and I walked him out for some reason, and he just pats me on the back, and he just puts his fucking hand in my shoulder, and he goes, "Matt, have a great summer." I'm like, "Okay, Tom Cruise, I will."
That's fantastic.
That's what I do.
Now, Matt Gorley
That's
is
amazing.
Yeah, it's just,
And you're like,
I will, Tucker. Have a good Kimmel.
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
Oh shit. All right. So, do you know about this scene? This is 29:24 when Bond is chasing Jaws into the pyramids, and they didn't get this shot.
Right. That's a painting, right?
That's a painting of Roger Moore standing by the rock.
So they paint this, and then they have Jaws run through. So this
Yeah.
is just a still painting. What was the
in
time
shot.
code?
29:24.
So 29:24.
Yeah.
If you have your Blu-ray,
oh, it looks like it.
and
Now
it's-
press play,
and it's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah. So that's happening, and that wasn't moving because they forgot to get a shot, so they just painted it.
Wait a minute. So was that in
Yeah.
post? Just like put him in there?
No, it was. They went back in like second unit. Everything's in camera.
Oh my God, that's like an
as
actual.
far as I remember. Maybe it's
Yeah, it's just an optical. It's an optical.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it's an optical in that they put the mat up, just like they do a matte background.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember how it was done, but I knew.
Yeah.
that
So
it
they
was a
need this
painting.
one shot of
Wait
him. They
down by the collar
need
of
this
his shirt.
shot, and they didn't have it, so they painted him.
I want that painting in like on a corner of my house. Wouldn't that
and
be
he's
amazing?
chasing Gabe Kaplan across the ground.
He's just trying to get Gabe to stop telling jokes at the end of the episodes. So there's a shit ton of stuff that happens in Cairo. We find out that
Yeah,
Triple X
actually,
is
more
working.
happens in Cairo in this movie than in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Indiana Jones.
So he runs into Triple X. A couple of guards.
She
try to
hasn't
get him
married
up.
Ringo yet, so she needs to work.
Had she not yet married Ringo? When did
No,
they
they
get
met
married?
on the set of Caveman.
That's how it happened. Oh, my
Yeah, I
God.
believe so. Made in 1980, directed and written by Carl Gottlieb, who wrote Jaws.
Jaws.
Oh my God.
Who
Who you can probably meet
Anytime.
at the Mulholland Tennis Club.
Yeah,
He's
or,
always
you know-
up there having us out.
head over to the Writers Guild. He usually hangs out there doing
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, very nice guy. Now let's hear this quick interaction where they size each other up with information.
the Egyptian Ted Lang.
Oh, why do I hear it? Oh, I muted the wrong one.
Skin not stirred.
Touche.
Commander James Bond, recruited to the British Secret Service from the Royal Navy, licensed to kill, and has done so on numerous occasions. Many lady friends, but married only once. Wife killed.
All right, you've made your point.
You're sensitive, Mr. Bond.
About certain things, yes. Now, if you'll excuse me,
You just ordered drinks.
tragically, I have a previous engagement.
Happily enough, so do I. Goodbye, Mr. Bond.
Well, let's say au revoir. I have the oddest feeling we'll be meeting again sometime.
Was she looped? Was she dubbed, or was that her voice?
No, that's her,
no,
right?
it's her voice, but it's ADR'd, I think. This
Hello,
place looks
Mr.
like
Bond.
every hotel in Palm Springs right now. Like the Viceroy.
She has that very like, please have an oyster. In
Yeah.
my country, they're considered an aphrodisiac. Oh, really?
That guy that they meet up with in the dinner jacket.
The not feckish, the guy that's not.
Do you
feckish.
recognize him from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? He's when they go him right there.
Oh, yeah. He looks like Irvin Kershner.
Yes, he does. He's the guy that is when they go to that Brunwald Castle. Indy and his dad. He's the
Oh,
butler.
is he the guy that says we have many tapestries,
You-
but if you
I
ask
am
Scottish Lord, I am Mickey Mouse.
And these girls in the background, those are the ones that would be in Playboy. Like, it would
Yeah.
be like, the women of the Spy Who Loved Me. And then you
That's
look
right.
and it's like, she's in the background of a bar in one scene.
But I'd still get that issue.
And it was the 70s, so their bushes looked like Lenny Kravitz was tying their shoes.
Yes.
Had to get that.
So this is where we first encounter Jaws' killingness.
And it can kill you by touching his teeth to your chin.
Yeah, as he does with this guy in a phone booth.
He killed that guy in the.
It's the way he kills people is so bizarre. He just leans over. And
let's just,
it's like a cat. The way a cat will nuzz your neck.
He's like a bad lover. Wait,
Smiles. You're terrified.
that guy's terrifying.
This also right out of Thunderball. This sort of building.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. He's dead. Yeah. I guess you wouldn't have to. I mean, I guess you wouldn't have to open your mouth that much to bite a jugular vein out, right?
But there would be there would be an arcing rope of blood.
True. That's true. It would be like that scene in Dracula Dead and Loving It, where Steven Weber keeps killing the vampire.
Yeah.
It just keeps
it's a Python-esque spray of blood when your jugular is severed.
I believe there's a very quick music change when they get into the van, like that turns into like.
Well, then they do the
weirdly...
horrible Lawrence of Arabia homage, which
Right.
It's just like the movie just becomes a pastiche of in jokes and.
But also when they leave this place and Jaws is attacking them and they're in this van.
And he's just
fiddling with the keys. He's doing a bit.
Yeah.
And he's endangering the mission of like nuclear war hangs in the balance. And he's doing a bit with keys.
Yeah, and he's trying the other one. And then he's like, this guy's going to kill them. He's like, lady drivers. It's like, this is like, it's like the first arc of the second act. In this movie, it's just like a Christmas tree of bad comedy and bizarreness.
Now
that's when you're writing a screenplay. That's a hard leg. The first half of the second act that's a hard leg up.
Really?
Yeah, that's a hard leg up.
Now I think this whole chase through the ruins. I guess they're ruins because they're pretty ruined, right? Ooh.
This is back when Bond could get you anywhere in the world. If you want to shoot Bond, you're welcome.
Anytime.
You can do it here. Look at this. I mean, these are... I don't think they could pull this off today.
I think they can do more than we think.
But I don't think so, because, like, especially in the Mideast, like, it's just not as Western-friendly.
Oh, sure.
This is a great scene.
This is fantastic.
Confusing,
This is shot very well.
Yeah.
The whole... Well, the thing that I don't... She uses karate. The thing that I don't love about this is just the silliness of the way she holds a gun on Jaws.
Oh, that's insane.
Oh, that's the worst.
and he toes it away.
Yeah.
He doesn't even
But
kick
she
it.
looks at him like, I'm not going to look down because I know
And
you'll
then-
kick me.
and then looks down for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But also,
She does a little drawing
but
in the
also,
sand.
James Bond stands there.
Yeah.
He can see this coming from 8 miles away. If the audience can, certainly the world's greatest spy could see it coming, and then he does nothing.
Look at that.
That's
sight.
amazing. That's amazing.
And this is back in the 70s when if your bow tie was not the size of your face, you weren't doing it right.
It's a sad. It's not a great kick.
No.
And now, is Jaws supposed to be? He has super strength as well, right? Yeah, obviously he rips apart a van.
Well, he does have it, and then he doesn't have it. It's
Right.
It's kind of inconsistent.
And then in Moonraker, he falls in love with a pixie girl, and
She
he's
is
nice
adorable.
again.
Give it to me.
God, look at Roger Moore, though. He's a dashing motherfucker. Look at that guy. Just that look on his face.
That guy can wear a tux.
Yeah. So Jaws is smarter than both of them right here.
Yeah, no.
But he drops
Now
the
this,
microphone.
now this,
Roger Moore.
do it. What? Hey.
Good help, Bond. Thanks, buddy.
But then I do love he takes the scaffolding out with one swing of the bat.
And then Bond says something racist.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he does. Yeah.
Say something racist, James.
Egyptian builders.
There's a lot of racism.
That is a great thing to.
By the way, it's also
say every time you know
Egyptian
that's coming.
builders, the people who built the pyramids that are
yeah.
still there.
The only people that have built dwellings that last this long.
I remember seeing Dr. No at the Harvard Square Theater, and this is probably in the early '80s. And he goes, "Quarrel, fetch my shoes," and like have the other.
And then there's another part of the country in Live and Let Die, and I go, "This is the man I share my hairbrush with," and they go,
Say, Jill.
"Hey, Jim, that's a bad outfit."
My friend was married to Solitaire.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, she's one of my favorite Bond girls. I don't know why my voice went to that tone.
I don't know.
Oh boy.
She also
I know that she has half of a lot of money right now.
She also she brought some in. You know,
Yeah,
Sure.
she
Dr.
did.
Quinn.
Medicine Woman
Doctor,
ran
yeah.
for 25 years. I think it's still on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
It
lot of
beat
money.
Gunsmoke. So James very quickly looks at the microfilm with his little tiny I don't know what you would call
Yeah,
it.
what is that?
Nowadays, this would all be on a chip.
You know, I do, and that's an interesting point too that we've sort of talked about a little bit on the show. Is that I do find that it's harder to write a spy movie now because of technology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Because there's so many plot points of all of these older movies that would be tied up very neatly
Yeah.
with a cell phone call.
And technology was the
catalyst for everything.
but it was the luxury of spies. That was what they
Yeah.
dealt in, and
Yeah.
we didn't have that.
This is a conceit of the movie makers that I think they can kind of let go of. Is that like James Bond has to solve every problem. Like you have in the new Bond, the new configuration, Q is a computer genius,
Yeah.
and he's uncracked this whole thing. But James Bond has to go. Wait, what's
Try
that?
that.
Try
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
It's like-
Yeah, I
and he
agree.
does it in this one too. With
That's
the
a map.
stamp. He goes,
Yeah.
The Q goes. Oh, I don't know. It's probably nothing. Let's just
Look at this. This movie's shot pretty well, and it was shot by Renoir's nephew or grandnephew of
Really?
the artist. But then he started losing his eyesight, and for the big,
Oh, that's right.
the big submarine hangar scene, they secretly brought Stanley Kubrick in, who was shooting The Shining, and
To
had
light
him help
it,
with
yeah.
the lighting.
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No, yeah.
I had
But
no
he
idea.
said, "I'll do it so long as you never say that I did it." Basically, and
Yeah.
They revealed it later.
Really?
He didn't want to be associated with it or something.
Just fucking
Sourpuss.
Kubrick. Yeah, real sourpuss.
Yeah.
Now,
I'll do it, but you can't say that I did it. That's the only thing. If you want me to do it, I'll do it. But I don't want to be associated.
you go work on your all natural lighting movie you're never gonna make.
I'll do it. I'll need 3 months just to light
Yeah, listen.
and relight it.
And I need to take a break every 20 minutes to humiliate Shelley Duvall. And if I get to do that, then I'll help you.
How's Papa Buck? Does she need a good dressing down?
Yeah. We're waiting, Shelley. Everyone is waiting for you. And you're not coming out because you don't know your lines. I don't know what you're
Benny?
Leave the woman alone. Angry bear.
This is where they're in the ruins. MI6 has gone ahead and
MI6
installed
just
some lighting.
relocated to the
Good morning, James.
Is he in?
This is for the movie after they had taken
must have been
over
quite a
a
party.
sunken ship in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
right?
Boring, Moneypenny. As a matter of fact,
They
I
put
dropped off.
track lighting in an ancient ruin.
Oh, what's happening?
They installed
The M counterpart of the Kremlin.
They installed elevator doors in this thing.
Why did they
Heavy
have
on the tuba.
Why do they have to move the entire office?
Now that musical cue could have been John Barry.
Hello,
and then when
Jane.
it goes to disco, like
We've
you're
been
saying, it's
expecting
really
you.
Good morning.
inconsistent.
Bernard Lee shows up.
There's
I
been a
guess he
change
felt
of
better.
plan. You probably recognize my opposite number in the KGB. General Gogol. And I believe you're familiar with Major Amazova.
Enough to know which brand of cigarette she smokes.
Our respective governments have agreed to pool their resources to find out what happened to our submarines.
We have entered a new era of Anglo-Soviet cooperation. And as a sign of Russian good faith, I'm prepared to make available to you the microfilm recovered by Agent XXX.
With considerable ease, I might add.
Don't bother with it, then. It's useless. I examined it on the boat,
Boom.
I assure you it is quite genuine.
except that the vital technical information has been taken out. This was only intended to whet our appetites.
Was Moonraker Bernard Lee's last movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Q can make something out of it.
Now let's talk
And we've
about.
also relocated all of
Let's
Q
talk
Branch.
about Q Bridge.
is
Let's talk
crazy.
about all the things they're working on right now.
They bring
So,
projects that aren't relevant to this mission to work on in ancient ruins.
We need to have a 5-minute conversation with an agent in the field. Let's relocate R&D
I want that ready.
to an old pyramid.
Oh my
After you,
god.
Alexis.
Oh, no,
So
after you, my
they're working on a magnetic levitating. They're working on a spring noise sound effect.
Yeah, yeah.
They have the hookah pipe,
What is a mud gun?
mud gun.
Mud gun. That sounds like
They have
code for
they
something.
have carpeting that has a
Don't
knife.
go to mudgun.com. I have a horrible feeling you'll see something you don't want to see.
Mud gun is after a lemon party.
This scene is good.
She's right there.
Were they?
Everybody ready? Right.
Just have her come in. Have her
Now, we're
seat.
pretty certain that this drawing was drafted in Italy. The size corresponds with a Venetian octavo, and the typeface is an Italian one. Now, note the slight upward stress on the transversals.
Q, what's that mark there?
Huh?
Yes. It
Oh,
was
probably.
Oh, wait a minute. There's actually a question we can ask you. If somebody had their jugular vein snipped by a steel, say a guy with steel teeth.
Who might be 7 feet 8
Hi, I'm
inches
Matt.
tall.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
Are
also
you
Matt.
a doctor or a surgeon?
No, I'm a nurse.
Oh wow!
That would be a lot of blood, right?
Yes.
See?
There, you have it here.
It's under a lot of pressure, right?
We finally cracked a hole in this movie.
We brought in a medical expert to tear apart.
Next, we have an archaeologist.
So now, if you want to, no, you can put these headphones on and hear what we're hearing. You can really just be part of the live.
Have you ever
podcast
seen The
experience.
Spy Who Loved Me?
No. Yes. I don't know. Yes.
Are you familiar with James Bond?
Yes.
Okay. What is this? This is James Bonding. Okay. This is a podcast.
You're on a podcast
This
right
is a podcast.
now.
Yeah.
Talking to-
Podcast is it?
This is called James Bonding with Matt and Matt. We are the Matts.
Okay.
Now, welcome to our program. Now, I know that Janelle. I'm sorry. Welcome to our program. Janelle is
we
joining
don't
us.
have a lot of girls here in the James Bond cave.
Janelle is joining us straight from work or something, I'm sure. You probably seemed like you were somewhere important, and then you came to pick up
Healing
Dana.
the sick.
And Dana's running late.
You said pick up Dana like I can't drive. We're going out to a nice meal.
Oh, well, 6 of one, half dozen of the
The
other.
way grown-ups do.
Dana recently has had his license taken away, and Janelle is here to help. So right now we're in the middle of discussing The Spy Who Loved Me. What time are your dinner reservations? We'll get you out of here.
No, we'll be like.
We don't have reservations.
Oh, you guys are
gonna-
really just gunning
gonna
for it,
wait.
huh?
We're just going to run and gun.
Where are you going?
I don't know. Where do you want to go?
Well, you want to go to Cat and the Fiddle?
Yeah,
we have to
Oh.
go.
Cat and the
before
Fiddle's
it's
great.
destroyed.
Yeah, you don't got much time. Huh?
Oh, wait, are they taking... What's happening?
They're shutting it down.
Why? What?
Because
Why?
it was nice.
Because it was nice? Because we
Because
can't have
people
nice
liked it.
things.
I heard someone offered them more money.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's so the Cat and the
It's
Fiddle itself
going
is
to
up
become
for
a
sale?
horror.
I don't know.
It's
I'm not
going to
sure.
become something horrible
Yeah.
to be determined.
Yeah.
TBD horrible's going
TBD
right in
horrible.
The neon has already been ordered.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
It's
that's
going to be like
bummer.
the OT 15 version of the Roxbury is going.
So
in
the
there.
last vestige we have of those kinds of bars in Hollywood is Tom Bergen's.
and Tam O'Shanter.
Oh,
Where's Morrissey going to go now?
That's way over though.
Oh,
Tam
where I
O'Shanter
live,
is,
man.
Yeah, it's over by
that's
you. I
real-
know.
That's in my world.
I'm in Hollywood proper, Matt.
That's true.
So we're discussing The Spy Who Loved Me. In case, let's catch you up, Janelle.
Okay.
Here's what's happening.
Microfilm, metal teeth.
A Russian submarine and a British submarine went missing.
I'm already bored.
Okay.
And James Bond is on the case to find out what happened. Also, a Soviet spy by the name of Triple X, who happens to be a very attractive woman.
Ringo Starr's wife, Barbara Bach.
Okay.
Are they still married?
Yes.
Yeah.
God bless
Yeah.
him. That's
Yeah.
great.
Same glasses.
I know, we
Yeah,
just noticed that.
That we covered that earlier.
Okay.
Do you have anything to add about the glasses?
They're the same.
Now,
See if our prescriptions are the same.
Oh.
No.
what if they were?
See who's
What
worse.
if they were?
I
Yours
don't
look
know, I'm
older.
Pretty blind.
Let's see.
Oh no, yours are worse.
Oh, you don't even need glasses.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You need two.
Triple X? That's like
Triple X is her name. Yeah, it's Vin Diesel
the
before.
least provocative James Bond name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not even. They're not even trying to make a pun.
Yeah.
They're just saying she will
Well,
allow
in
penetration.
Goldfinger, the woman's name was Pussy Galore.
Right.
So it's kind of
Uh,
which you watched with me.
Did I? Oh, yeah, I did. Maybe.
We saw it at the cemetery. They did it at the Cinespia this year, and it was amazing watching that outdoors in the summer on a
Yeah.
cemetery.
That
mausoleum.
movie, that people think like, oh, Goldfinger was great. That movie's got some crazy cartoon shit in it too.
Yeah.
Oh, of course it does.
I agree.
I'd like to lay one line on you. Champagne leader to champagne one. The all sexy
Pussy Galore's Flying Circus.
Yeah, the all sexy girl pilots.
Yeah.
Whoa, a flying circus. Wait, Monty Python. Do you think they got it from there?
No.
Or was Flying Circus is just a thing that ran
Flying
around?
Circus was
Yeah.
a thing.
No.
But that's not dissimilar from the line in You Only Live Twice. They're very sexiful.
Tiger Tanaka.
Sexiful. That's not a word.
So they're examining the microfilm right now, and this is when you see them one-upping each other as far as who knows what the most.
When it was photographed, must have been done in a hurry.
Can you enlarge it?
Wait a minute.
Can I do your job for you?
Oratory. What is that?
It's another word for chapel.
Else.
Looks a bit like a bishop's mitre.
It is a fish. That is the symbol of the Stromberg shipping line.
Carl Stromberg? But he's one of the richest men in the world.
One of the principal capitalist exploiters of the West, sir.
So it's not oratory, it's laboratory.
Whatever she wants.
Stromberg has a marine research laboratory on Corsica, I believe. Well done, James.
Actually, sir, it is in Sardinia.
Boom!
That's brilliant.
Get a
I'm
sarcophagus,
certain
you
that two such perceptive talents will enjoy working together in Sardinia. And that it will help
This
to make
needed a sitcom spin-off.
Anglo-Soviet
Now, was he
cooperation
the voice of Blofeld in From Russia with Love?
I don't think so, but he's in From Russia with Love.
Yeah, no, he plays the same character.
No, it's not the same.
Does she die? She dies.
She does not die, no.
She does not.
She
die.
makes it
She's
to
the
the
girl.
end.
The guy that's the voice of Blofeld is actually
Now she's
the guy that is. I think he's the guy that plays Professor Dent. Believe it or not, in Doctor No.
Oh,
I could be
right,
wrong
right,
about
right.
that. There's some connection there.
I thought you'd show up sooner or later, Dent.
I just made a lot of people mad that are listening to this and know that's probably not true. There's
It's
your wood
okay.
paneling, though.
But there's plenty of wood paneling in the scene, and James's tie has somehow gotten even bigger.
Yeah. James's tie is the size of a blanket your mother would give you when you go away camping.
James's tie actually starts out as a tiny tie, and you pour water on it.
They just came from the dining car, and the tablecloth got stuck to his neck.
Brown on brown there.
I know.
Yeah, a lot of brown on brown.
Yeah.
Brown on brown.
A lot of
Brown
that's
on brown on tan.
Made in 1976.
So now
At the same time, this filmed at the same time as Star Wars.
No.
Not a lot of paneling in Star Wars.
Are you doing it yet?
this is Jaws. This is the person that will bite your jugular out,
Okay.
but there's never any blood. So we just wanted to find out.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen, right?
No.
I bet I could have told you that.
Yeah, but you don't have a degree
I'm
to
glad
back it
help
up.
You guys.
That's true.
Yes, she would die.
So
You know this.
this is now a train fighting sequence that we have seen before in From Russia with Love.
Yeah, but done much better.
Done much better in that
And
movie
Live
with
and
Robert
Let
Shaw.
Die.
And Live and Let Die, yes, of course. But again, no musical score. Just some crazy Foley work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And James Bond dressed like Mike Brady.
Here he is. Here he is. He bites this for no reason.
Hungry.
Why is he wet?
Oh, he got a bottle of champagne crashed over his shoulder.
It's continuity.
What if he broke his jaw on the wood paneling? I got to take a drink and then.
Oh
The
my
size
gosh.
of Richard Keel's hands.
What, is this about to happen?
No. I'll tell you what's about to happen. James Bond's gonna
Now, but watch
innovate.
this.
Also,
Okay,
watch
so the breaker. Now, why is he jutting his metal teeth towards the thing he doesn't want to touch his metal teeth?
Watch when he gets thrown out the window. He's tiny. Watch. Watch. He's huge, 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 tiny.
I've never noticed that before.
Bob Simmons.
Stunt Jaws is wee.
Huge.
When they're on
Tiny.
the gondolas in Moonraker and he jumps across, it's just a tiny little guy.
Now,
Charlton Heston's stunt motorcycle driver in The Omega Man is also so grotesquely not Charlton Heston. It's close to Black Ace from Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Sorry, not Paradise.
now this is the introduction of the.
The Lotus Esprit.
Yes, that guy's hanging out over there in the background, holding a rope.
Sure.
But
This is the Lotus
this is the
Esprit,
Lotus, yep.
which I had the Corgi of.
Oh, the little toy.
Yeah. The Corgi, of course, makes all the... They have a DB5. They had all of them. I had a Corgi BMW 750 from Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh, my God.
That had little rockets on the sunroof that
And
shot.
if you can also see Roger Moore's, he seems to be wearing more brown on brown.
Yep.
And he seems
Pair
to
of
be wearing,
gauchos.
clogs or OJ dingoes. These
Yeah,
might have
yeah.
been. Or,
But this is the introduction of the second most iconic car in all of James Bond. This is the well, it looks like a DeLorean from here, but it is a tiny British sports car that
I didn't know that was
It's also hideously ugly.
Yes. They were in search of a new Bond car. The guy from Lotus found this out.
Oh, no.
He went and grabbed a Lotus Esprit from the factory, painted the Lotus logo all over it, drove it to Eon Productions, and parked it in front.
He didn't even say anything?
He didn't even say anything. He just parked it in front.
Oh, this is why we do this podcast
Yep.
together. There's still moments to share.
And they were like, what is this car? And it's a British car. It's a Lotus. They still make them today.
Really?
The first Teslas were actually Lotuses that were...
Holy shit.
I don't know if you knew that about Tesla. And that's
I
why,
didn't know.
That's why Elon Musk ended up like falling in love with this. His plan, by the way...
He bought this, right?
His plan, he bought this car, and his plan is to make it into a car that can also be a submarine.
Oh, my God.
Because why not?
Yeah, why not?
It does
look like a DeLorean, but it's a
even
really
smaller.
It's an ugly car though. There's no aerodynamic.
Yeah, it
it's
just
a
looks like a
70s,
door shim.
It's the 70s version of what the future should look like, which is just wrong.
It's like the guy, it's like his first draft before he got to the Lamborghini Countach. But let's hear the. Let's see, I don't know what happened to the video. Come on.
Good morning, Major Boothroyd.
Morning, Major.
I do like that she calls him Major Boothroyd.
Isn't it nice?
Right.
Guys, I don't know
Now,
what
pay
happened
attention,
here.
007. I want you to take great care of
I
this
don't think the
equipment.
listeners have a
There are
problem
one or
with
two
this.
rather
that's true.
special accessories.
Hugh, have I ever let you down?
The audio nature of the
Frequently.
podcast.
Guys, we can't see it. We have to stop the podcast. There she is.
Now, this Bond girl on the helicopter, Carolyn Monroe.
Carolyn Monroe from Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, forget it.
Yeah, she's
Forget it.
Remember it and then
she's
forget it.
quite ridiculous.
Yeah.
Shame's Barbara Bach, by the way.
Yeah, I agree. And so does this receptionist.
I don't know.
lady.
Barbara Bach is gorgeous.
Best Bond girl, Carol Bouquet from For Your Eyes Only.
Really?
Whoa.
Is this the hot girl?
Well, I saw her a lot during this. I saw her a lot
And in your
summer.
formative years.
My formative years,
Yeah.
she made a big impact.
I like
That's
this.
how you know you're watching a James Bond movie when this is not the hot
That's
girl.
not the hot
Yeah.
girl.
I find
I
her
like her
maybe
cross.
to the most attractive.
By the way, I find that if you were to remove the ruffles, that would be a dress you could wear today. That's my fashion input.
And she seems
I
to be
agree.
wearing about a half a can of Breck hairspray.
So, okay. now
here comes Caroline Monroe.
this is Helicopter Girl.
And she's clearly dubbed. She's got a man's voice.
Mr.
No.
Sterling,
Yes.
It is me, Natasha,
Oh, no.
from Rocky Bullwinkle.
Mr. Stromberg sent me to collect you.
How do you do? This is my wife, who happens to be my assistant.
You are on holiday here?
She is
Well, there's
mostly
a notion.
mascara.
A marine
Yeah,
biologist
that
is
high.
never on holiday.
I agree.
She doesn't.
Can
she
we
does it for
offer
me.
you a drink before we go?
No, thank you. Mr. Stromberg's a very busy man. His time is precious.
Now, when I turn, should my
She was
head
dubbed by
leave
Della
frame last?
Do you think she's hotter?
She looks like the mother on Good
She's
Times.
not hot.
I think she's hot. When she was in Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, it was just like, oh, or was it Golden Voyage of Sinbad? I believe she's in Golden Voyage of Sinbad.
One of the
find out.
Harrison.
She's in a lot of Hammer movies.
What's that Roger Corman Star Wars knockoff? Not Battle Beyond the Stars, but the one. She's in that one too. I don't remember what it is.
I'll find out. Carol Bouquet. No, Caroline Monroe.
We should rename this episode. Let me Google that for you.
Caroline Monroe,
My name
actress,
is,
The Spy Who Loved Me. Leggy brunette, maned pinup.
That's her IMDb bio.
Born in Windsor and lived in Rottingdean.
Oh, she's English.
Wow. Oh, maybe
Oh, no,
that's why
she
they
is
dubbed
English.
her. Maybe they dubbed her because of that.
Oh,
But her real voice sounds like this.
pretty lady.
She was in Maniac, Golden Voyage of Sinbad. Yeah, not a big filmography.
No, she's basically
Shocker.
started
Probably
doing
married well.
conventions. She does Bond conventions these days.
We should go to one of those.
Yeah, we should.
Well, I don't know. She plays the shopkeeper in 2014's Crying Wolf. She's in the movie.
Back.
She plays Mystic Mary in the movie Cute Little Buggers.
Back in the
Coming
game.
out.
Back in the game.
She's in a lot. She never stopped working. God damn it.
She's a hustler.
This is the meeting of Bond and the villain. Always a pinnacle moment for movies.
This is the scene I was watching yesterday, or the
Star
day
Crash.
Yes,
She's in
that's
Star
what I'm
Crash.
thinking of. Where I thought
I can identify.
the one goal in life I have is to start
That is a
like a
privilege of
villain's loungewear collection,
Don't
and this
you
would be
miss the outside
the
world?
showcase outfit right there. This burgundy
What is he wearing?
caftan or
Necklace?
whatever this is. I don't know what that necklace is. It's like
This man's name is Kurd. Kurd Jurgen.
What's happening?
what is this necklace?
Love.
She has webbed fingers too. Look.
Shark.
I think you will find this interesting, Mr. Sterling.
An underwater city.
Fascinating, isn't it? The only hope for the future of mankind.
Seems like an odd
We all
choice.
have our dreams.
No dream.
Seems like a lot of obvious drawbacks. The lack of air being the first one.
I'm afraid you
There
must
are easier ways.
business.
Houses in the trees.
Goodbye, Mr. Sterling. And if we don't meet again, I wish you luck with your research.
Well, thank you. The brief glimpse you've afforded me today will only encourage me to redouble my efforts. Goodbye, Mr. Stromberg.
That was all? They're done?
Yeah, pretty
for
much.
Now.
It's really short.
For now.
Ooh.
Ooh, a shark.
Not nearly as good as the meeting of Goldfinger and Bond while they played golf, or one of my favorite lines in Thunderball when they're playing
shooting?
ski. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he goes,
Oh.
"Huh, "Good rifle for a woman."
Nah.
Yeah.
And then,
He
looks
go-
very difficult. No, it isn't, is it?
Yeah.
So,
Do you know anything about guns, Mr. Bond? No, but I know a few things about women. That may be my favorite thing in that whole movie.
I know a few things about women.
I wrote this down. I love the performance here when he is just fucking munching on some almonds.
Two on the train.
Who is?
And giving
oh,
orders.
yes, that's right.
Still looking good.
Yeah.
And the woman is Major Masova, a Russian agent.
Look at him go.
Let him get ashore
What is he eating, almonds?
You can hear him chew.
and then kill him.
He's very subtle. Angry man.
I just love it.
I have to get to the world's giantest eye bags meeting.
where I am the keynote speaker.
The giant eye bags.
Now, now what ensues is the chase between the Lotus Esprit and a motorcycle with only one weapon that is deployed much too soon.
This is the movie with the most vehicles from the Mask cartoon in it.
Yeah, this is where everything. This is where we find out that the world is constantly being circled by vehicles designed to kill you if they're called upon to do it.
But what I love about this is you expect like in Thunderball the bike has missiles all over it
Yeah.
and it can
Yeah.
shoot multiple times, but this thing only shoots its sidecar.
It's a torpedo.
That was in the commercial, by the way. That little torpedo. I remember that.
Oh, the truck.
But just the back of it.
But
The
just
guys
the
are
back,
fine
no one's
from-
hurt. BJ and the bear are fine.
But not this guy and the dummy that gets thrown off the cliff here.
Yeah, full of feathers.
Watch the dummy. Watch it. Dummy.
I love that.
All those feathers and he
Still the
can't
dummy.
fly.
His legs
Oh,
are bending all weird.
So Janelle, in your medical opinion, that guy was a dummy?
I think so.
Now, this is
the things I drag you into.
I contribute nothing to this. I don't think I've seen this one.
When I met you,
contribute
when I met you,
perspective.
you had so much dignity.
I don't think I've seen this one. I'm sorry, listeners.
no. Don't worry about it. That's okay. That's okay. Now, here's what happens. Here's a lot.
Have you
of,
seen any of the Roger Moore ones?
I don't.
It's James
That's who
Bond.
this guy is.
I think so. I recognize him.
When you think of James Bond, I know you're a girl, so you don't think of him often.
Sean Connery. Wait.
Who's the actor that you saw the most James Bond movies of? Pierce Brosnan or
Oh, I
Daniel
don't know.
Craig?
Oh, probably half and half. I like Daniel Craig better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the movies
He's a
are
little more
better.
badass.
Yeah. We saw Skyfall together.
Yeah, we did.
So did we.
We
Oh,
did. We sure did.
We saw it with my friend Rob Cohen. We saw it I was with my two very good friends, Rob Cohen and Ken Daly. Like I've known them both for decades. They're two of my closest friends. We were with them last night. The movie finished. I turned to Janelle and said, "That was great." I'm easy to please. That was fine. It's James Bond. And they were like, "That was horrible."
I liked it.
I did too.
When
We
it
were
was
both
broken
like-
down, it was kind of weird.
Yeah, but it's a James Bond movie. You're not supposed to break him down. I was
Does
like,
he get gay in that movie?
Does he get? Well, he hints at doing whatever
Is
he
there
needs
a
to do
hint? I'm
for
confused.
King and
yeah,
Princess.
when he's feeling his legs. That's a great scene.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
that's
a
really good.
and it's all one
That was
shot
a
too.
really
It's all one
PC
shot.
way of saying that too. Does he get gay?
Does he get gay?
Very PC.
Now, in your medical opinion,
Does he mow up?
but this is the very iconic moment. This is when the Lotus shows its true colors for the first time. Barbara Bach's terrified,
but she shouldn't be because she knows.
The dock is loaded with boxes.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Why is she afraid? She knows.
Because as
She
we
does
find
know.
out later,
Yeah. She's had the blueprints.
Oh, so she's bad.
well, she's just Russian.
Oh,
So that means
yeah,
you know
yeah.
that means in the 70s.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch that cartoon Mask? Do you
Yeah.
know that? They had one that was very similar to this car on that.
I love the Periscope for no reason.
this is the and and soon the model of the helicopter that's about to blow up.
I love this.
Oh,
A lot of lipstick,
a lot of mascara. Look at the Periscope.
and this is right out of You Only Live Twice.
Killed her?
Yeah.
They always die.
But you can see the size of the model by the side. That's about a 4-foot model because you can't. Same with the
Yeah.
model of the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
You can't miniaturize water droplets.
Right.
You can always see them.
That tanker is like 30 feet long or
Yeah.
something like that. It's amazing.
I feel like they're about to do it. Are they about to do it?
Not yet.
Totally gonna pour.
Did you ever read the novel Spy Who Loved Me?
Yeah, the novel The Spy Who Loved Me is amazing. It bears no resemblance to the movie at all. It's a very
Child.
weird one-off Bond novel written from the point of view of the woman that James Bond rescues.
But she about her losing her virginity,
Yeah.
not to Bond. And
No.
he doesn't enter until like 3/4 of the way through or something like that.
Yeah, it takes place at a motel in Vermont.
Yeah.
And literally it's James Bond against two mobsters, and literally their names are like Slugsy and Muggsy.
Yeah,
like
something ridiculous.
And it's like
Yeah.
Ian Fleming trying to write from a woman's point of view, and it's like, I put on my slacks that
Yeah.
hug my thighs so tightly.
That novel and how telling it is that he hates lesbians and stuff. I think he was just like a closeted lesbian because he's just working through so many issues in that book. And
Yeah, and well, and Goldfinger too. He just
Yeah.
hates lesbians.
oh, he hates them.
He's just a grumpy
Nobody
old British
hates.
guy.
Nobody hates lesbians. They don't bother anybody. It's
He
like
does.
It's like Revenge of the Nerds. Football players didn't hate nerds. Nerds didn't rate. They didn't,
Yeah,
you weren't
yeah,
even on their radar. And then, nerds.
But let's now. This is the introduction of our favorite recurring character in all of the James Bond movies.
Yeah, and then we'll wrap it up, and then you and I will talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz.
Just very quickly, let's.
Well, I'd like to be a part of it.
Oh, you would? Okay,
Let's
then
see.
Let's get to that.
Drunk guy on the beach drinking an entire bottle of wine. Who-
Where is this beach, though?
Sardinia.
Oh,
There he is.
Drunk guy.
This is his second of 3 cameos. That's got to be somebody.
His cousin was the American guy that looked at the bottle when it said "Flying Saucers"
Yeah.
over Hollywood and Plan 9 from Outer Space.
How did the fish get
It didn't. That's the point.
Yeah.
The point is it didn't.
Yeah.
But what's amazing is this is what's great about Roger Moore. If you see how he's holding the fish,
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
like he's a gifted
That's
light
right.
comic.
That's right.
you know,
really
he
is. He is.
does it perfectly.
Yeah. Although it's not out of Roger Moore's Bond's character to have pre-put a fish in there thinking, when I come out, won't this be a funny gag?
So now
So-
you guys know more about about Bond 24 than I did.
Yeah. And Matt even knows more about it than I did.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay spoiler-free.
I know
but-
John Logan.
Yeah, but though I guess...
You know John?
Yeah.
Do you know about how his script has kind of been pushed back a little bit?
No, I know nothing.
They initially said, all right, we're going to get rid of those 2 writers we usually use and just go with
Purvis
John-
and Wade. Purvis and Wade.
Just
Yep.
go with John Logan. Then he turned in his script, and they're like, hey, would you 2 come back and kind of brush this up a little bit? But then they brought this other guy that worked on Skyfall uncredited, and what did he write recently? Oh, man. I don't remember.
Wait, didn't he write Didn't he write Edge of Tomorrow?
That's what I thought too.
Oh, that's cool.
Live,
well,
Die,
my
Repeat.
manager would know him.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
It's a great
script.
movie.
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It really is. It just was marketed terribly.
So it's looking more and more. Well, Christoph Waltz is cast, but it's looking more and more like he's Blofeld, and they're going to try to make a ruse out of it. But a lot of the stuff is set in. They're shooting in the Alps, I think, in Switzerland, which excites me because it's been a while since you get like the Alps are very Bond. You know? That's a great.
Well, that's where his parents died.
Yeah, and I think that may have something to do with it because there's something about Waltz's character that's masquerading as the son of a ski instructor mentor that mentored both he and Bond or something. And spoilers.
You said that late.
Yeah. How does it work?
Well,
I don't think it's going to make a difference.
No.
As long as he's not pretending to be a ski instructor, I'll go.
But
this is rumored stuff still.
I love Christoph Waltz so much, and I so badly want him to do his American approximation of an American accent.
Well, you'll see that in Big Eyes.
Yeah, and but his accent and dialect in Django is so great.
And Inglourious Basterds
as Schultz.
too. Yeah.
And he, if I'm not mistaken, he was kind of done.
Yeah.
In Germany.
Ah.
And Quentin Tarantino, just remembered him from a thing he saw 20 years ago. It was and just kind of pulled him out of I might be completely wrong, but
you're absolutely correct.
Wow.
Yeah. And Tarantino was
he's perfect casting for this.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's got enough of a classical feel, but he'll bring something.
Oh,
new
he's
to it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
And he's such a good actor.
I thought Javier Bardem was great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Same
he
here.
was so good.
And I wonder because the rumor was what's his name, Chiwetel, the 12 Years a Slave guy.
Oh, Chiwetel. The name I can't pronounce.
Albondigas?
Something like that.
Okay. Well, he was being spoken to about the villain for this movie, too, and I don't know if that meant he was going to be Blofeld or what, but I don't know.
Well, let's talk about the final...
And the weird thing, again, spoiler alert, strange choice, Kathy Griffin is the Bond girl.
It
It's
is.
a strange choice.
Oh, God,
I would still see it. I guess I'd still see it. I mean, of course I'd see it.
Yeah. She's Felix Leiter.
She would be.
Apparently, he's not coming back. That's a bummer. I liked
Jeffrey.
Wright.
Oh, I liked him.
Um,
I like the Felix Leiter in Thunderball, kind of the goofy surf guy.
Yeah.
Now, I also would like to point out this
Land
is
of matching jumpsuits. Look at your transparency.
This is the...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, my
What the hell is going on down there?
I'm just saying, looks like there's a
He's got a belly button dick that goes all the way down.
Jesus.
Kids at home, 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 47 seconds
and the
into this
zippers are
movie.
just pointing right at it.
You'll just see some.
By the way,
sweet bulge.
If anybody bulk orders 1,200 matching jumpsuits, they're a supervillain. Get right on it.
Amazon. What if they're just subscribing and saving from Amazon?
Yeah.
They're just doing a
It's
subscribe.
either that or these are just stock left over from Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
But what I do want to show you guys here and audience at home, there's a British soldier here who gives the worst fake death I've ever seen on camera. He sort of gets shot by bullets and then shimmies into the water.
I'm into it. I know exactly who you're talking about. Oh, God.
This is also right out of You Only Live Twice.
Yeah. So much. And Moonraker's the same.
All right, guys, it's coming up. Keep your eyes on him.
There. That guy.
He literally
Yeah.
stops cold, shakes 4 times, left, right, and then, like a plank, falls into the water. Now, is that what would happen if I got shot?
committed.
Okay. It's been revealed that the plan is for what is his name again?
Stromberg.
Strasberg. I always call him Strasberg. Lee Strasberg is going
Stanislavski
to.
comes in.
He's going to have those nuclear missiles launched at New York and Moscow. So essentially, sending the
Bond
world
doesn't
into
even
a
get to
nuclear
protect his
war.
own country.
Yeah. So dipping the world into a nuclear war, and then he'll live under the sea. He's the opposite of Ariel. Okay. So now what's happening here is there is what's left of the submarine crews. They're trying to fight the people on the tanker. It's a big battle. It's red jumpsuits versus blue jumpsuits. Okay, so it's easy on the eyes. And this is now, you're looking at the lighting. Stanley Kubrick apparently helped that out.
Yeah.
And so what ensues here is essentially just a retelling of You Only Live Twice.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Like a literal retelling of that with a lot of...
This is the first use of the 007 stage at Pinewood,
Also,
by the way.
Right. They built it for this.
They built it for this, right.
And then Ridley Scott burned it down.
Oh, he did?
What movie?
Legend.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, worth it then. Oh, look at that freeze
now,
frame.
pay attention to this.
Roger Moore
I'm also going to point this out
Getting
to you
his
guys.
epaulets on.
Kids at Home, 1 hour,
He looks
37 minutes, and 21
He
seconds.
looks like he's wearing a Roger Moore mask.
What you're going to see is what looks like Scott Thompson in a sailor uniform handing a clip to James Bond. Like, it looks like a guy who's been in the Navy only because he loves the men, and he's been in there for too long, and he's 50 years old, and has not been promoted yet.
Like a little boy.
He's like in a little boy's sailor outfit.
He's a little Victorian
He's like
naval
a-
uniform.
That's
funny.
I want to
awesome.
screenshot
You guys
that
are
guy.
such nerds.
I know, it's a little
Looking at this,
ridiculous.
how did you see all this?
I just-
It's really crazy.
I just was watching it.
Combing through.
I need to write something about this. Okay. They're throwing grenades left and right. Everything's going crazy. They need to penetrate the control room, and the only way to do that, apparently, James says, let's take the detonator out of a nuclear bomb.
Smart.
Yeah.
And this guy dies. Oh, Captain. So, let me jump ahead a little bit here. We got a long climax where essentially the same thing is happening for 40
That's
minutes.
Shane Rimmer, that guy.
Yep, so this is the
ring
scene.
houses the impulse conductor circuit, sir. It's magnetic. I mustn't touch it with any part of the detonator.
What happens if you do?
It'll go off.
Yeah, ask him at a different time.
Why is T-Bone Burnett helping him?
He looks just like him.
Oh.
Now they're playing Operation. That was for
Is he not supposed to do that?
It's.
Well, it just can't.
They're making the rules up as they go.
Yeah. Do you remember in Thunderball that the bomb has handle like eggs
Yes.
stenciled on it? Isn't that hilarious?
Ding.
Handle like
Number
eggs.
6, sir.
So they put a 20-second fuse on it. James.
Oh, God, there's
Also,
still a
of course-
half hour left. We could.
Oh, listen, we're zipping right through this. I am now.
Mel Brooks is in the movie.
Mel Brooks is here. He's going to make the worst musical of all time. Everyone's watching James Bond slowly move towards a wall. It's like he
That is
unplugged the
funny.
music. He like unplugged the music.
That's pretty funny.
Now,
I
this
didn't
was
catch
great.
that.
It was really, for your eyes only, it would have been great if that was his last one. I just remember seeing A View to a Kill going, God, don't let him do another one. And that guy looks just like Mel Brooks from Silent
Yeah,
Movie.
absolutely. Just no. So James Bond, he needs to get away. He's
Another
hanging
great
there.
Ken Adams set.
Yeah, he's the hero.
Well, that's probably how they got Kubrick in, because he also
right.
did
Strangelove. Yeah. God, I love Ken Adam.
Where is he trying to go?
That is how, actually.
They did it!
Run over the dead
Running
bodies.
at us thinking. Never mind them.
Grenade!
Oh, they're not dead. No, many of them were napping.
You're too late, Bond. Our submarine's already on station.
I'm very sympathetic, even though I'm part of the horrible plan.
The missiles will be launched.
I want this
Print out
big
transmission
globe
unit.
in
Can you
my
work it?
living room.
Well, sure. But, James, we've only got 3 minutes.
If we can work out the position of those submarines, maybe we can reprogram them.
To do what?
To destroy each other.
That's
lit
Right.
when they run off.
We need to put a clock on it.
Go.
This submarines have 3 minutes. We only have 45 seconds to find out when those submarines will have 3 minutes left. Everything is so timed out. It's like screenwriting 101. In 2 minutes, we'll have 3 minutes to find out.
So the missiles are going. We don't know what's happening. Did part of you think they were going to just hit each other and blow up
I
on the
did,
screen?
yeah.
This is a very Dr. Strangelove, too, by the way. Lady.
I know.
And then they kiss.
That's okay. As long as they're hitting the subs. And this is one of the few usage of stock footage in a James Bond movie because apparently they couldn't film their own nuclear explosion.
Oh, man.
Strange the public never heard about this.
About the two offshore nuclear bombs that
It
are...
was the same summer as Star Wars.
Okay,
the
that's
public
right.
was really
They were not paying
preoccupied.
attention.
Yeah, good point.
Where's the hot girl?
She is the Strasbourg. I'm going to call him Strasbourg.
Okay, yeah.
Strasbourg has taken her onto his underground city.
Oh, it's still going?
Yeah. Zip ahead to the jet ski that he gets
Absolutely.
delivered to him.
Close it.
Close it. I don't want to argue anymore. The tension
I just
between
got
us.
this signal from the Pentagon.
We're going to fuck.
On instructions from the Security Council.
I couldn't get any more wood paneling in this room.
Battle stations 5
I want
minutes.
you to take a look at the wood paneling in my pants, James.
These torpedoes?
Whatever you want to call it.
What
Daniel.
military submarine has wood paneling in
I'm
it?
sorry. I have to get
How do you have wood paneling on your wall and your ceiling? Do you know that? What is this, Graceland?
Next door is the jungle room.
That package for Commander Bond. Bring it in quick.
That package.
I need an hour.
What, that
Have you
comes
ever
from
seen
the
a real
top
doll,
40
James?
minutes. You're going to get me court-martialed.
Good marshal.
Okay. 1 hour.
I can't
Really
stand
convinced
mad
him
at
to
you.
stare.
In 40 minutes, you'll have 1 hour to find out when those...
He just was. He was like, no. He looked into his eyes and said yes.
Yeah, stared him down.
In 40 minutes, you'll have 1 hour to know when those subs have 5 minutes left.
Here it is, guys.
It's Little
Jet ski
Nelly.
in a bag.
It's just Little Nelly.
Yeah.
Maybe you should put it together near where you're going to use it instead of here in the room where you won't be able to get it out.
Little bicycle.
And it's such an ugly 70s design, too.
Look at Roger Moore doing his own stunts, though.
They'll never
That's
see me
awesome.
in this.
That's a cool effect, too. He just
Cut
pulls it
to.
in
Domino's Pizza's delivered.
Now, something I'd like to point out. This is the second appearance of Tabasco in a James Bond movie.
Oh, in back to back, right?
Yeah. In at the beginning, at the very beginning of The Man with the Golden Gun, you hear Christopher Lee
Good
yell
evening,
out,
Mr. Bond.
"Knick-knack, Tabasco!" Like he just orders Tabasco from his island.
For you.
And then, so here we go.
Look how good that look is, though. Turtleneck and military jacket. I gotta get that going. Not kidding. Yeah, just day to day.
Son, what brings you into the naval office today?
It's a very Hestonian
Yeah,
look. He was
yeah.
very big with the safari jacket and the turtleneck.
Yeah, yeah.
So he opens up the elevator to drop James into the Shark Tank.
This is good. I like this. Is a nice touch.
You did want me to drop in.
And that's it. The villain's licked. Like he has no other defense other than
Oh.
this. Well, I guess he's got the one.
My tie is bigger, Mr. Bond.
Yes,
I know.
His tie is now a bib.
Where's Anya?
Well,
It's just a
well,
backwards
well.
cape.
British agent in love with the Russian.
In the front.
Tabasco.
Oh yeah.
Taunt indeed.
Great.
Look at that
Tabasco.
bell.
That's all you need.
Sit down, Mr. Bond.
Mr. Bond.
Mr. Bum.
And yeah.
Now this is I stand by
Oh,
this.
this is a total Greedo
Your time's
movement.
running out.
This is the most brutal
Yours too, Mr.
James
Bond.
Bond killing of a villain, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
And
I
faster
wanna
than
see
you
this.
think.
Oh.
Why there?
Oh.
You shot your boat, Stromberg. Now it's my turn.
I mean, is that basically right in the balls?
That's his crotch. Oh.
Look at his
going.
webbed
For
fingers.
good measure. One more.
I love that they squibbed that old man.
Wow, that's a lot of metal.
Yeah, now he runs out into the...
Looks like Star Wars right there.
And that was a very Star Warsian shot.
You're going to jump into the garbage compactor?
or the escape chamber.
Oh, no, you again.
Oh, he electrocuted him.
All right, let's just use the sound from the day there.
It jammed. Looks like his Beretta.
No music.
What?
Just kind of bored.
Yeah. That's the thing. I
Maybe
find this
they
movie...
didn't like the score.
Oh, maybe.
And they pulled it out.
I find this movie to be a little ponderous. It's just, I don't know.
It's like the end of Die Another Day. It's just like 40 minutes of gun spray.
Oh,
yeah.
Boobs.
Yeah.
Boobs.
Awesome, dude.
Boobs.
I'm trying to get into the escape chamber.
Remind me to buy grapefruit.
Boy, that Ringo's got a charmed life.
Got lucky twice.
Yeah.
I thought being a Beatle was a stroke of luck. This is very 70s cinema.
Yeah.
A lot of jets of water coming at you. Very towering inferno.
Yeah. It's a Poseidon adventure.
The escape chamber is a fucking sweet.
I know, it's
Yeah,
very
the
snappy.
escape chamber is like a fuck bot.
That thing's just daring you to escape when there's not an emergency. You know, little vacation in the escape chamber.
I think that's what they mean.
Oh my gosh.
All right, explain to me the end of this, the last musical cue. This is the worst.
Just with exclamation points, I wrote, this ending.
Yeah. It's the probe droid from Empire Strikes Back.
Exactly.
Same sound, too.
I know. System.
It really does look like it.
Barbara Bach looks fantastic.
Which one's Barbara?
Oh, gosh. He's
Misjudged Stromberg. A man who drinks Dom Perignon 52 can't be all bad.
Oh, she's going
The
to kill
mission
him.
is over, Commander.
Good.
What?
She intends on killing him, but then she chuckles at him opening the champagne.
Her look says, I can't stay vengeful at you.
Just because you killed my fiance.
In my
Maybe you
country,
should just have
Major,
sex
the
with
condemned
me.
man is usually allowed a final request.
Granted.
Zip.
I'd
Let's
like
get
to
on with these
live
wet
out my
things.
life with
Oh,
you.
my God. Easily convinced.
Instead of killing me, maybe we could just... Oh, no.
He's okay, everybody.
Jaws is all right. It's like the ending to Bluto and Popeye. Remember when he...
It's also the ending of King Kong versus Godzilla.
But James, what would our superiors say?
They're never going to know.
Oh, really, James?
God, these guys are always out in the field. It's crazy. They must hate their wives.
They're all diamond members on Delta.
It was just Roger Moore's ass up against the window. It's a good last line, though.
Worst musical cue in the history of
Yeah.
cinema is coming up.
Yeah.
007 Triple X. Bond, what do you think you're doing?
Keeping the British end up, sir.
Nobody does it better.
What gay musical review is happening right now?
That's atrocious.
This is basically that Blazing Saddles. Put out, just get it.
I wasn't looking.
There it is, everybody. The Spy Who Loved Me. Final thoughts on The Spy Who Loved Me?
It is 2 hours and 5 minutes of why
30 minutes almost.
2 hours 30
2:20.
minutes.
Yeah.
Of why the 70s can never be repeated.
You mean like it's a singular, or we can't let this happen again?
It's just like it's soaked.
Yeah.
It's the 1970s reaching its putrescence.
Yeah. I recognize why
dripping.
people think this is the best more, but I don't watch this one that often.
No, For Your Eyes Only is the best. More, if you could just strip out the music, it'd be great.
Yeah.
I think this is a good James Bond movie.
It is a good James Bond movie.
I just don't enjoy it
It's
as much,
it's like
though.
a James Bond action comedy.
Yeah. It's not super good and it's not super bad, so I tend to gravitate towards those two.
Yeah.
You know.
It's better than Moonraker.
But I watch Moonraker more because it's like a clusterfuck of how did this happen. You know?
Yeah, it is. I
enjoy
saw
that.
I saw Moonraker when it came out, and even
Yeah, at the time, what did you think of that?
No, it was in ninth grade. It was like you're just at the point where, like, you're getting to the point where not every movie you see is the best movie you've ever seen.
Yeah,
Right,
right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, and it was like, I just remember my only memory of it really was when he's wrestling with a snake. I just remember, like, God, this is fake.
Yeah.
God, this is
That's
fake.
right. He wrestled with a snake. Oh, I can't wait to do that one. Janelle, final thoughts on The Spy Who Loved Me?
From a medical viewpoint.
Yeah. How does it hold up?
Very realistic.
Physiologically, how does this hold up?
Makes me want to go see Star Wars, actually.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that corridor
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
kind of make you want to watch
Yeah.
that.
Made me want to see
Open the
that.
blast doors. Open the blast doors.
Do you find Roger Moore to be an attractive?
Yeah, he was cute.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
I mean, he's rakish. I enjoy
I think
him.
he tends
More
to be
than Pierce Brosnan. Pierce
Oh,
Brosnan
yeah.
just looks
Pierce
like
Brosnan's not cute.
Pierce Brosnan
He's
looks like he
handsome.
would be a bad boyfriend, though.
Yeah.
He looks like he'd be
He's
like,
handsome.
you fucking embarrass me at
But
that party.
weirdly, what I hear about Pierce Brosnan is that he is the most loving husband there has ever been.
He seems like
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He double birded my friend of mine once.
What
Oh,
does
yeah?
that mean?
Th-
Oh,
Stole a parking space, and I'm like,
Oh, I thought that was some kind of sexual term like
I
spit
know.
roast.
no, he double snowballing.
snowballing. Yeah.
He
That's
just
pretty
like,
good to be double birded by Pierce Brosnan.
yeah, and then my friend, this is in a parking mini mall in Malibu. He goes, this guy's an agent. He's nobody. You know, he's going to parking space. He comes in like a Porsche or like a Countach 180. Like, steals a space, and then gets out of the car, looks, just flips him off, double bird. And my friend's like, "Geez, all right, go, James Bond, flip me off, okay, whatever." And then he goes into this restaurant, and Brosnan's in the restaurant, and he sees him, and he flips him off again.
Oh my God!
I'm just trying to eat.
My friend Jeremy was down at Disneyland, and he pulled off in a gas station to get gas, and there's a limo, and it's a gas station like complex, and there's a Pizza Hut and a Taco Bell.
Oh, we were there last night.
Okay. And out of the Taco Bell comes Brosnan heading towards the limo, just eating a chalupa or whatever.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Brosnan is like this man about town who everyone has a weird story about
Yeah.
running into Pierce Brosnan.
Brosnan crosses your life like Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And
Well, I was at the Vanity Fair Oscar party one year.
Oh, good.
And
You're so snobby.
I felt like I got hit by a bus. And then I felt these hands like, I'm so sorry, and it was Daniel
Oh,
Craig.
my God.
And it was like getting hit by
Really?
a missile.
That's
Yeah.
the best.
He's just a human rock.
Really? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. God bless that man.
I can't wait
That's
to have
good.
him on the podcast.
When's
Daniel
that?
Craig will be our guest sometime never.
Oh my God.
Oh, I was like, really? That's
Oh,
cool.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, I say, listen, everyone, we're in the drudges of Roger Moore right now. We got A View to a Kill next, Moonraker.
Oh, you're not
and-
doing them
And
chronologically?
then For Your
We're-
Eyes
no, we're
Only.
going
We're
from-
bouncing back and forth.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
From front to back.
And then meeting in the middle.
We have a very
Oh, man, so you've already done A View to a Kill.
No, not yet. That's next.
So
But that's the last one.
we go-
I would think you would go
No.
Live and Let Die, A View to a Kill.
The exact middle movie. So we went Dr. No, Skyfall.
Oh, I see
So
what
we went
I
that
see what
way,
you're
and
doing.
came into the, and we're meeting
I
in the
see.
middle, and the middle is For Your Eyes
We have
Only.
a special View to a Kill
Yes.
episode. We can't say anything more than that. But
Yeah.
Oh, I bet I know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's happening.
I know. I can't.
You're writing out things. We can just say it after the air.
Yeah.
Because you don't edit, unlike some people.
Unlike some actually podcasts where you're like, oh my god, effort went into this. This is amazing. Listen to the Dana Gould Hour, please, everybody. Do you have anything to plug, Janelle?
Sorry, everyone.
No.
You're getting a dog.
You're getting a dog?
Okay, come.
What kind of a dog?
Where can people see you get a new dog?
It's embarrassing.
I need to hear this dog
I
situation.
rescued the dog from a shelter.
Oh. Do you know what the breed is, or is it a mix?
No, I didn't rescue it.
You're a liar.
I'm lying. The real story is I adopted it from a breeder.
That's all right. Listen, here's the deal with that. Don't feel guilty about that because that dog was already born and someone has to
Exactly.
take care of
That's
it.
true.
What kind of
So-
dog is
It's
it?
a Labradoodle, an Australian Labradoodle.
Oh,
That's great.
Kind of.
That's
A
great.
I feel bad.
You know, you
we
did. You
rescued
took-
a bunch of cats, so
It's not
Yes.
like. Here's the deal. It's not
She's
like.
filled my house with cats that I didn't have.
It's not like you pre-ordered the dog before it was born. This was a born dog that needed to get.
You grimaced
taken
Oh, no,
care
like
I
maybe
didn't do
you
that.
had.
No.
I know. I had to think about it.
No.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, the dog
commissioned
was
it?
born. Someone has to take care of it. So listen, people out there, if you see people who have a dog and they don't answer the question of like, oh, do you know how old it is? And they happen to know, that means that they probably got it from a breeder. But listen,
Yes.
the dog was born. Someone had to take
Yeah.
care of it.
Yeah.
We're
You
just
could say
saving it from a
rescue, like,
shelter.
I'm going to open a diamond ring rescue. Adopt some diamonds. It's like, as long as it's adopting, people will buy it. It's a cute little dog with the best name ever.
Don't adopt conflict dogs.
So you can see Janelle at the dog park by Dana's house. Matt, you can
With
see.
her dog, Noodles.
Noodles the dog.
If you're watching television at all this winter, you can see Matt try and sell us Volkswagens constantly. I'm a little tired of it.
I understand. I
But,
apologize.
I
I have a
appreciate
new
it.
podcast called
Yes.
I Was There Too, where I interview people that were present in great scenes of cinema history and tell their story. So check that out.
What do you mean?
Like the woman with the baby carriage in the Untouchables shootout scene in the stairway.
You
Like-
know her?
No, well, we find them and
Oh, wow.
yeah, and talk about.
Well, you can do this. Doug Benson was an extra in the Blade Runner.
I've
Foot
already
Chase.
had him on for Captain EO.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't aired yet, but aired.
But he was in
but
Blade
I know, and I plan to bring him back because he was
You
also
can
in
bring
Commando.
He's
he was
also in
Teen
Nightmare on
Wolf.
Elm Street 3.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He's a gold mine for this podcast. He's amazing.
Doug also been on this podcast a number of times. Doug's just great for podcasts.
One time,
Just once?
Yeah.
We haven't had him twice?
I think we may have him back from Moonraker.
There you go, everybody. Follow Dana Gould on Twitter. It's now Dana Gould. He dropped the J.
I finally got it.
You finally got Dana Gould. Matt Gorley's at Matt Gorley, Gourley. And
My middle name is Jay too. What's your middle name?
John.
Oh, James.
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 Oh,
James.
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 Oh, James. That
Matt
place the
Myra.
H's.
MIRA. And
Matt
you can
J.
follow us,
Myra.
James Bonding Pod, on Twitter. Janelle, you have a Twitter? Do you want to give it
I
out?
don't.
Well, good for
I
you.
don't have one.
Stay pure.
I'm not that cool.
Stay pure. Stay pure.
I have
Don't get
nothing
one.
to say.
All she does is save people's lives.
No, I tried to get it and I didn't know what to say, so I deleted it. I think I was following you, and no one was following me. No, I have nothing cool to say.
That does it for James Bonding. James Bonding will return in A View to a Kill in some form or another.
Oh, boy.
Comes the morning.
Oh, boy. Patrick Mitney is the young guy.
Oh, the Rolls Royce buddy. Yes.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.